listed as doubtful to play in Game 5 versus the Warriors. The Kings' all-star guard is believed to have sustained the injury midway through the fourth quarter of Game 4 and played through it. Fox had 38 points, 9 boards, and 5 assists on Sunday. Check out our latest findings on this impactful development only on SactownSports.com. And finally, breaking news out of the NFL as Packers and Jets have agreed to a mega trade sending 4-time MVP Aaron Rodgers to New York. And without further ado, let's get into it.
Let's get it.
I'm Simone. Those are your Sactown Sports headlines. Happy Monday. Welcome in to Cattles and Ramie.
Not the boring, generic milquetoast stuff coming from the network in Connecticut.
I describe him as the best, obviously.
Cattles.
He throws it out there, speaks his mind. That's cool.
And Ramie. He's supposed to make people laugh. He's just an expert at it.
Cattles and Ramie.
Live and local in the afternoon.
Sactown Sports.
Well, it's one of those Mondays, isn't it? Your Uber canceling on you. 2 big, gigantic, ginormous stories breaking in the last 90 minutes. I hate everything. I got stuck in traffic. I thought I was going to be late to the show. Basketball is stupid. Hopefully everybody in the car accident's okay.
Yes. That's the most important thing, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Injuries in the NBA postseason have truly, truly stunk out loud.
I don't like sports.
This is just outrageous. Ja Morant, Giannis, Embiid, and now De'Aaron Fox.
Was it just a matter of time before this bug got you? I know it's not like technically contagious, but it sure seems like injuries have been contagious in the NBA this year, and the Kings have been living in a bubble. You know what I mean?
All year long, we've been talking about it, right? How great their fortune had been with injuries, how they'd been able to throw their starting 5 out there a ton. And now we get this De'Aaron Fox news. A complete and utter gut punch at about 12:25
this afternoon. There's no other way to describe it. There's no sugarcoating it. That was literally how I felt when I read that. When you sent that to the group, Nick, the tweet from Shams, and I read that, it literally felt like someone punched me in the stomach. Who are those guys that boxed on Saturday?
Oh, Garcia?
Yeah, he's the one who got, like, his ribs destroyed, right? Yeah, I felt like Garcia.
He's the one that crumbled.
Yes.
In the 7th, yes. So an injury to De'Aaron Fox, obviously not what we wanted to hear at any point in this postseason, especially not after yesterday's game, which was nip and tuck. You lose by a point. HB misses his shot at winning the game with that 3 on the wing. And you just kind of wake up this morning saying, hey, Game 5, still got Game 5 back here at G1C. You win Game 5, you feel really, really, really good. If you can somehow, some way, take this game on Wednesday, and then Adrian Wojnarowski goes on ESPN, and he tells us all this.
There's still some hope that De'Aaron Fox will be able to play Game 5, that crucial game back in Sacramento with this series tied 2-2. I'm told he would need a protective covering on that finger. I'm told it's the very tip of that left index finger on his shooting hand. The x-rays came back with a fracture there, but I think there's still some optimism. He'll be able to give it a go. Now, how effective he can be, how it impacts his grip, his shot, certainly those are the concerns. But the expectation is he'd get fitted or get a covering on that finger, on the hand that would perhaps allow him to play. He's listed as doubtful right now, but again, certainly with the stakes right now at this point in the season, in the playoffs, I think De'Aaron Fox certainly is going to try to do whatever he can to get on the court. And there's optimism that at the very least, he's going to give it a try Tuesday night with the series tied 2-2, Malika.
Before I get to your thoughts, Ramie, and how this impacts the series, it's rather obvious it absolutely impacts this series. What I don't want us to do, and I don't want to see this on my timeline. I tweeted this a little while ago. I don't want to see any WebMDs crushing my timeline, okay?
You're not gonna.
I don't want I don't want to take calls saying I fractured my finger in 1998 and I was okay. I went to work. I don't want people to compare.
I went to the YMCA. I put up 20 in 3-on-3.
Fractured my index finger when I was in high school, still dropped 30. I don't want that. I don't want the fraud doctors to pop up and try to diagnose this issue. I don't want to compare De'Aaron Fox's injury to any past injuries of index fingers.
Tomas is playing with a broken thumb. He better play.
I want to start. I want to start here. Let's see if De'Aaron Fox and the team, because I've always said this with player injury, you don't leave it up to the player. The player's going to want to play, especially when it's the postseason. Let's wait and see if Fox and the team deem him playable on Wednesday night, and then go from there as far as this diagnosis and all of that noise, because all of it is guessing right now. I want to focus on the basketball. Obviously, a gut punch, Ramie. Just your thoughts on the injury and how this is going to affect things moving forward.
I'm not a doctor, and I didn't play in the NBA, but I don't see how you dribble or shoot with it. I mean, if they say he can, then I guess he can, again, because I'm not a doctor or a professional basketball player, but I just don't know how you effectively dribble and shoot with a protective covering on the tip of the index finger on your shooting hand. I told the guys in crosstalk, Nick, like, I'm still I think this is totally reasonable. I don't care if I'm a sports talk radio host. I'm still processing this on some level. And my first and initial reaction was, I hate everything. I don't even like basketball or sports anymore. I quit, and I don't want to. I want to take my ball and go home.
I'm done.
Is how I felt.
I am done
upon first hearing the news. Okay, and then you go, all right, you're not going to do that. You still like basketball. You still love sports. You still like your job, and you're going to go in there and you're going to do it today. But if he's out for even a game, Nick, even a game. Maybe I'm overreacting. Maybe this is just, in the moment overreacting. This series might be over if he misses a game. You don't want to go back to Chase Center down 3-2. And Nick, we talked in the pre-show meeting today. I doubt we'll get to it now. I was happy-go-lucky, sunshiny about the Kings.
Highly unlikely we get there
despite the loss yesterday.
Yeah.
I was feeling good about this team.
You were.
And the prospects of this series. If they lose De'Aaron, that was me really kind of, this is stupid, but feeling really strongly that they were going to take Game 5 at Golden One Center on Wednesday night. Without De'Aaron Fox, I don't think you're going to beat the Warriors. I hate to be gloom and doom. I hate to be, Debbie Downer here. I don't think you're going to beat the Warriors without De'Aaron Fox and a 100% De'Aaron Fox. Like, if he can't do something close to what you've gotten from him throughout this series, I don't know if you can beat the Warriors. If you are going to beat the Warriors, it starts with two guys, one who you needed to step up anyways because he's one of your two best players,
right? And
that's Domas Sabonis. But the other one who, again, you probably were going to need him at some point anyways, but now you really need the scoring and the shooting from Kevin Huerter. Those are the only things I can come up with if you're going to put together a game plan and a good enough performance to beat the Warriors without De'Aaron Fox, if that's indeed what the Kings end up having to do on Wednesday night.
First of all, props to De'Aaron, who played, it seems like, the final 4:35 of this game.
Yeah, when did this happen?
With this injury. There's a bunch of video out there, kind of innocuous. There's a foul call, and he takes like a floater after the whistle, and it looks like Looney's going to try to block the shot or whatever. And then when Fox comes down with his hand, he looks at it and shakes it. That's again, this is Zapruder film kind of stuff on Twitter, but that's what people are looking at. So it does seem, and Shams tweeted out that he did play at least a decent portion of the fourth quarter with this injury. So props to Fox. He had a number of buckets after this injury. So props to him for not asking out, continued to play, played pretty well given the circumstances. So that's the first thing I'll say. Secondly, the real issue to me here is that it's his shooting hand. Again, I'm not a doctor, but if you're telling me if it's his right hand, I feel better, right? You feel better if it's the right hand because he uses the left predominantly. That would make you feel like he might be able to produce at least a bit for you. But because this is on the shooting hand, I don't have any expectations. I don't have any expectations of him playing. And if he plays, I have zero expectations for how he's going to play. I think it's rather obvious he'll be less than 100%. And with this kind of a series, Ramie, we said it. I mean, I said it before the series. And I know some people got on me for picking the Warriors or whatever, blah, blah, blah. Couldn't care less about that. My overall thought on this series was that this was going to be tight. This was going to be kind of a back and forth, right? I said it's going to go at least 6 games. I would be shocked if this series ends in less than 6. It's going to go 6, if not 7. These teams are so tightly wound together here with the coaching staffs, and we've seen the back and forth outside of game 3, which I thought was the anomaly because the Kings let the narrative get to them, and they didn't play their style of basketball. That wasn't them in game 3 in San Francisco at the Chase Center. The other 3 games, man, we're talking about last-second situations. We're talking final moments of the game. And when you're in a matchup that is that tight, when you lose your superstar, and don't get it twisted, that's what Fox has been in this series. He has been a superstar. He's been canceling out Steph Curry. If you lose him, yeah, I'm sorry, but I don't think that the Kings are going to have enough. The only way they have enough is if the other guys play out of their minds, like you said, Ramie. And there are some stats here that I've got. Will Z, on the minutes in this series without Fox, the Kings have played 38 minutes in this series without Fox. They're actually a +9. So they've won the minutes with Fox off the floor. Again, though, that's 38 minutes over 4 games. If Fox is not playing, you got to cover up all of those minutes in game 5. It's easier to kind of cover for 38 minutes over 4 games versus this guy's not going to be out there. Bobby Marks talking about the regular season. This might actually be a case of when your good fortune in the regular season bites you in the postseason because they haven't played without Fox a lot. Bobby Marks, Sacramento used a league low 9 different starting lineups this season. 74% of their games, almost 3/4 of their games, had the starting 5 of Fox, Herter, Murray, Barnes, and Sabonis. So you're not used to this.
You don't have a lot of practice doing this.
No, and Fox's clutch play, which is another thing. And really, it just sucks because I think it robs us of a great series. This series had everything that we wanted in a series. This had 7 games written all over it. Classic first-round series. And now a stupid injury gets in the damn way.
Are we overreacting? Is this just in the moment?
No, dude, it's their best player. If Steph Curry got injured, what would people be saying? They'd be saying lights out for the Warriors. Your best player fractured his index finger on his shooting hand. Now, again, if he's able to play and it doesn't affect him because it's the tip of the index finger, I'm not a doctor. If he's able to get out there and play and give you 80%, 85%, and if the other guys step up, you have a shot. But if this is a situation where he's out on Wednesday,
that's a wrap, right?
You need an out-of-body experience from somebody, which is possible. You need Monk to drop 35. You need Davion to give you 15 to 20. You need Herter to wake up. You need HB to wake up. But you're talking about the balance of the series. Can you win 2 out of 3 against the Warriors without Fox? No. If he's giving you 80%, we can have that conversation. But if he's out, I think you're out. Your thoughts on this De'Aaron Fox injury, other than it sucks? 916-339-1140 is the text line. The phone number is 1-800-920-1140.
I'm deflated.
We all are.
Totally deflated.
We all are. I'm going to be excited for Wednesday. I'm going to hope that guys show up and they play above their level. I'm going to hope that Fox is able to play. But, I mean, it's natural to see this with how he's been playing and how important he is to this team. It's natural to feel that gut punch with this announcement. It sucks. YouTube.com, Sactown Sports 1140.
We might have to block Tony Dogs today, man.
Well, I know he's in there trolling his heart desire. We'll get to your reaction.
Get his name out your mouth.
Get the reaction from all of you. Also in 90 seconds, I hate to bring it up, but the E word. The E word finally showed up in San Francisco.
Nick?
Yeah, I know. Talk about it in 90 seconds.
Cattles
and Ramie.
Sactown Sports. Sactown Sports wants to congratulate Kings head coach Mike Brown for being the first coach
Sactown Sports.
So this is what we do in Sports Talk Radio. We celebrate the good, criticize the bad, and we vent through the unfortunate.
Mic check twice.
Yeah, what was that? You all right? You literally mic checked yourself while the mic was still off.
I hit the on button and it didn't turn on. Maybe I didn't push it down hard enough. I don't know. Get on the couch today.
That was special.
The Cattles and Ramie show is what I was trying to say.
Mic check.
Yeah, give us the thumbs up, even though we're talking about something that's very, very thumbs down.
Yeah. Give us a thumbs up and that thumbs up just represents that you're suffering with us.
Brutal. 1-800-920-1140 is the phone number. Phone line's wide open for you. If you're just joining us, I'm sure you've heard by now the news about De'Aaron Fox. If you haven't, De'Aaron Fox suffered a fractured index finger in his left shooting hand. He is listed as doubtful to play in Game 5. Adrian Wojnarowski gave us a little bit of hope, saying that there's still hope that he's going to try and play. They could put a protective covering on the finger. I know that Kendrick Perkins is out there showing his mangled hand to the world.
Is he really?
Yeah, telling everybody how he played through something like this. But obviously, Kendrick Perkins versus De'Aaron Fox, not even in the same ballpark. When you're a 7-foot center and you touch the ball roughly 5 times a game,
it's slightly different.
You can play through a busted hand.
Yeah.
Okay. Not somebody who's ball handling for 40 minutes.
Kendrick Perkins wasn't crossing too many jokers over and then hitting the fadeaway mid-range. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That doesn't happen. Or the little teardrop. Oh, remember Kendrick Perkins' little teardrop shot? Oh.
Remember the step back three? The step back three from Perk?
And his spin move? Oh.
Man,
outrageous. Didn't even know where the ball was. That guy was a magician. Yeah, really. Oh.
All right, let's get to some of the reaction. youtube.com, Sactown Sports, 40 thumbs up. People wondering why. One of them, Linda, why the Baby Yoda does not have his hat on today. Everybody's off their game. This announcement has everybody off their game. Simone's off her game. She wasn't ready. This De'Aaron Fox injury.
Brought her coffee today.
This De'Aaron Fox injury has everybody shook.
Nobody delivered her coffee.
Linda says, no matter what happens, they can never take away our 2 playoff wins. That's right. You got those 2 W's in the pocket.
Hey, the drought is over. No matter what else happens, the drought
Jose
is over.
Ruiz, we need Deli to come back ASAP.
Yes, that'll fix it.
Matthew Dellavedova ain't walking through that door.
You know what he's got, Nick?
What?
Experience.
He does have experience. Cole G, I'm here. With an exclamation point. Warriors squeak out a win at home. Hats off to them. On to Game 5. So Cole G.
A few people say that, and I admire your optimism. I really do. Maybe I'll get there by Wednesday.
Trying to stay optimistic, positive. Not Boy 415 SF. He keeps it very simple. This sucks. Yes. Not good. Naha says, I believe the Kings still can win with or without Fox. Chris White, on the other hand, says it's over if Fox doesn't play. And Katie Vieira says, don't fret, y'all. Terrence Davis breakout game incoming, 35 plus. So we can hope. We can be optimistic.
See, it's hard for me to be optimistic when the thing we got to count on is in a playoff series against, the greatest team of this era is the old Terrence Davis breakout game. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's
not what you want.
It's a tough sell.
You don't go into the Warriors series saying we just need one of those games from TD.
It's a tough sell for this guy sitting in this chair right now. Again, we got days before a game is played. Maybe I'll come around. This is just how I feel right now, folks. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you.
By the way,
coming here for happy-go-lucky optimism after this news, I just don't got it.
Another young star is going to be out for his next game in the playoffs, and that's DeJounte Murray. The NBA just announced that DeJounte Murray has been suspended for Game 5. If anybody saw what happened, Murray bumped an official after the game was over yesterday in Atlanta. So DeJounte Murray is out.
That's a guy who
the NBA Adam Silver must be throwing furniture right now.
He was planning a sweep and already had his Cancun trip booked. So he was like, let me just bump a referee when the game's already over and get on out of this series. I've had enough.
We'll get back to your reaction on the De'Aaron Fox injury in a minute, but I did want to mention this. The E word was all the rage when we were talking about previewing this series, and we asked people for their picks. Everybody, to a person, brought up experience. And in the first couple of games, experience didn't show up. Wasn't that big of a deal. Kings went right through it, right? I thought games 3 and 4, we saw the inexperience. In game three, I think we saw the inexperience, as we talked about, Ramie, because the narrative of the media and the dirty plays and the Draymond Green stuff, I thought that took the Kings out of their game. And the inexperience showed that they weren't quite ready for that moment in game 3, and they got shellacked. Yesterday, I thought the final 4 minutes of that game, you saw the inexperience. You saw Domas turning the ball over in a critical spot. Malik Monk had a turnover in a critical spot. You had 2 or 3 really, really bad shots at bad times. I thought they lost their poise in that stretch. And they went away from what was making them effective offensively. And it reminded me of watching the finals last year when you had a team that was talented in Boston, but they could not execute at the end of games. That's why the Warriors won that series last year. The Celtics just could not execute. They slowed their offense down. They turned the ball over too much in the final couple of minutes. And you saw that from the Kings yesterday. In the final few minutes of that game, the moment got the best of them, and they didn't play their best basketball, and that cost them at least 4 or 5 huge possessions late.
I can definitely see why you'd say that, and a lot of people are saying that today, that the inexperience shined in those moments you're talking about, Nick. And I can see why. I understand. I didn't necessarily see it that way, and the reason is, I don't know, and this is why I was going to come in here kind of optimistic today. The Warriors look just as sloppy in those last 4 minutes. So can we chalk it up to experience, or was that just a game that kind of got away from both teams in crunch? There was about a 90 second, 2-minute span in those last 4 minutes that you're talking about, where the ball was just flying around with no real direction or plan by either team, it seemed. And then finally the Warriors got a layup out of it, and I think that put them up 4. But if we're saying, I'm not saying you're wrong about the sloppy play and some of the mistakes that they made late in the game, but I could look at the other side and they were making, dude, Steph Curry called a timeout when they didn't have any timeouts and took a shot with 10 seconds left on the clock.
Well, we'll get to that. We'll get to that later.
No, but I'm just saying, like, these are mistakes.
But the idea, the timeout was because it was challenged and whatever. It was a boneheaded play, obviously, by Curry. What I would push back is, we know the Warriors are going to give up the basketball every once in a while. It's kind of their calling card. They're just a sloppy team from time to time. But I thought the Warriors won the game. They executed at a higher level than the Kings did. And if Curry doesn't call that timeout, the game's over. Let's be honest. Like, he gifted you 4 points. You get the free throw and you get the Fox 3. That game was over.
Yes.
If Curry doesn't do that. So I just thought, again, they rushed themselves a little bit at the end. I thought they forced some really bad shots. They turned the ball over a couple of times, and they were unable to overcome that late sloppiness. And I thought that it just showed. It just showed its hand a little bit in San Francisco. And now they're going to have to obviously step up big time without De'Aaron Fox. We'll continue with your Fox thoughts. Also, huge breaking news in the NFL today. It finally happened. Aaron Rodgers is no longer a Packer.
Ramie.
Sactown Sports. Catch the Oakland A's every weekend on Sactown Sports. Friday nights, Saturdays, and
Game 4 and played through it. Fox had 38 points, 9 boards, and 5 assists on Sunday. Check out our latest findings on this impactful development only on Sactownsports.com. And finally, breaking news out of the NFL as Packers and Jets have agreed to a mega trade sending 4-time MVP Aaron Rodgers to New York. And without further ado, let's get into it.
Let's get it.
I'm Simone. Those are your Sactown Sports headlines. Now back to Cattles and Ramie.
When it breaks,
We have it first.
It's Sactown Sports breaking news.
Yeah, this afternoon's wild. Can we just settle down with the sports news for like 3 hours, 4 hours?
Chill out.
Can we take a deep breath?
For real.
De'Aaron Fox is injured, fractured index finger at the tip of his left hand on the index. We got that. Then we got the Aaron Rodgers news. He got traded to the Jets. We'll get to that in a few minutes. Then we got DeJounte Murray being suspended for Game 5 because he bumped the ref.
It's too much.
And now we find out that the Houston Rockets have a new head coach, and that new head coach is Ime Udoka, Ramie. Of course, the news with this hire is the off-the-court stuff. And, who knows how much of that is now going to come out since, he's been officially hired by another team. I don't know if anybody will leak stuff or we'll just move on. An interesting decision by Ime because, he goes from a title contender, coached the team in the finals last year, to a team that's just trying to figure things out in Houston.
And we've heard that there's some dysfunction in Houston that goes deep, like beyond just and they got some talent, Nick. We talked about it every time the Kings saw them, that there is some really, really good athletes out there and basketball players, but there just seems to be a little bit of chaos in Houston. So maybe he can, he comes a little bit of chaos surrounding him as well, but maybe he can come in and calm some of that down and harness that talent.
Maybe he's just hoping for Wemby, right? Maybe he's hoping that they land Wembanyama.
There's that too. That's a franchise changer.
They right now are in the second slot. Of course, the bottom 3 teams, Detroit, Houston, San Antonio, all have the same amount of chance to get the number 1 pick overall, which is 14%. You have a 14% chance to get the number 1 pick. Houston has a 52% chance to have a top 4 pick. I think it's a great hire for Houston. Ime is proven. And if you want somebody, as you said, Ramie, to, figure out some of the mess down there in Houston with a young team, Ime will keep those guys accountable. There's no doubt about that. So, I love the hire from the Rockets standpoint. Just interesting that Ime decided to go there. And really looks like he hopped on the first chance he got. Maybe not being as selective as people thought he would be. But Ime Udoka now in Houston. Back to some of your reaction to the Fox injury before we get to Aaron Rodgers, who was finally traded today from Green Bay to New York. He is a Jet. Paul Hansen, I don't know why these guys, you guys hosting, are so down on the Kings. The Kings are deeper, faster, younger, even without Fox.
What do you want? What do you want us to do today? Looking right at you.
I feel like this is the day that Ramie might just blow a gasket versus me.
A basketball team's best player gets hurt in the middle of a playoff series. And why are we so What do you want us to do today? I'm talking right at the camera. And whoever just wrote that comment, how do you want me to come in here today and be like, everything's great? Like, what do you want? What do you want from us?
Yeah, your best player just got hurt. And a very tight series against the defending world champions. It's tied 2-2. Look, I hope many of you are optimistic just for your life's sake. Optimistic human. You're walking around. You look at the silver lining, the bright side of all of it. I look at this and say, if Fox can't play, you're done. The series is over.
I'm Mr. Good Vibes over here.
And, look, maybe Davion will shock the world, and he'll average 30 points and play as great in the clutch as De'Aaron Fox has played in the clutch. But I think, just the easiest way to look at this is to imagine yourself as a Warriors fan, and the Warriors just lost Steph Curry, or Steph Curry is doubtful, and he fractured his index finger on his shooting hand. How many Kings fans would be jumping into the YouTube chat going, series over, baby?
For sure.
Bring on the second round.
Them.
These guys are cooked.
All of them.
No chance without Curry. Even if Curry plays, if he's 70%, this series is over.
Every single one of them.
Every single one of them. So the superstar for you in this series is hurt. That's it. Now, again, what we don't know is whether or not Fox is going to play and how effective he can be. I'm not a doctor. I don't know how he's feeling. I don't know how the protective gear that he can put on the index finger that Woj tweeted about could help protect him and make him feel comfortable. I have no clue. I would also say in the final 4 minutes of that game, even though he played well, let's also not forget here that, after an injury like this happens, you're going to have swelling, you're going to have discomfort. There's going to be things like adrenaline might be able to get you through 4 minutes of a basketball game. So we don't know what the finger looks like or how it feels. As I said in the first segment, we're not going to play WebMD. I'm not going to take your calls or your YouTube chats about, well, I got hurt one time and I was able to play through. Like, none of that. Let's see if he plays on Wednesday, and we'll see how he looks if he does play. If he goes out there and it doesn't look like it impacts him as much as we might think, then okay, conversation back on, like I said. But if he misses the rest of this series, the Warriors are going to win the series, unless they have to deal with an injury that we don't see coming.
Or, I'm honestly, Nick, I was ready to, at some, we think about the things we're going to say. Sometimes days out, folks. I was ready to say at some point between now and tip-off on Wednesday night, I truly feel like whoever wins Game 5 is winning this series. And I felt really good about the Kings' chances of winning Game 5. I don't feel so great about their chances of winning Game 5 without De'Aaron Fox, which to me all but means the series is just about over, man. I don't think you're going to go to the Chase Center and beat that Warriors team. You have to capitalize on the fact that they're a terrible road team. And without De'Aaron Fox, I don't know that you can necessarily capitalize on that. I hope they can. It's going to take really good efforts and performances from multiple other guys on the floor to make up for what you're going to be missing if he can't play or if he's not 100%. But if they can't pull off that magic act, Game 5 Wednesday night, this series might be over if he just misses one game.
All right, we'll get to the Rodgers stuff later because we've gone too long here. I'll slide it later. I don't want to squeeze the trade of a Hall of Famer in 90 seconds here. So we'll slide that back. We'll get to Rodgers eventually. Let's instead go to Nolan, who wants to talk about De'Aaron Fox, the Kings, and the Warriors.
Hey, you guys there?
We're here, Nolan. What's up, bud?
Hey,
What's up, Nolan?
Thanks for taking my call.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm a diehard Kings fan, and there's only so much optimism you can have. I just picked up my 13-year-old son, Gage, from school. First thing I told him is Fox broke his finger, and first thing he says is, the series is over. So it's funny when these guys get on here saying, we can still do it. We're going to make it. Trust me, I'm trying to be as positive as I can being a fan, but if he's not playing, we're not winning.
Yeah, thanks for the call, Nolan. I agree with you, man. Look.
Shout out to Gage.
Here's what I
hope he's not too bummed.
I'm gonna twist it on Kings fans too a little bit here. If you approach this going no big deal, then what you're telling me is De'Aaron Fox is no big deal. So if you spent all season long telling me how critical and awesome De'Aaron Fox is, do not tell me today that you're going to win this series without De'Aaron Fox, because what you're telling me is Fox is replaceable. He's replaceable against the defending champions in a 2-2 series. So you can't have it both ways. De'Aaron Fox is an all-NBA guard this year. He's the best clutch player in the NBA. He is literally canceling out Steph Curry in this series point for point. He's been tremendous. He was pretty much your entire team yesterday, okay? So we can't have this both ways. You can't be preaching to me about how great Fox is and how important he is and how much you need him during the regular season. And then when he goes down, possibly, we don't even know if he's going to go down. Again, we have no idea if he's playing on Wednesday. But if he doesn't play, you can't just wipe your hands and be like, on to the next one.
Whatevs.
You know what I mean?
Cool.
You can't do that.
Didn't need that guy anyways.
You can't all of a sudden tell me he's not that important. He's not crucial to the operation. All right, we'll have a lot more of your reaction. And, man, just so much news today. We'll continue coming up next.
Cattles,
and Ramie.
Sactown Sports. Sactown Sports is Sacramento's new home for the San Francisco 49ers.
Feels awesome. We deserve this. Let's go, Niners!
Purdy.
Purdy gonna throw, and it is Kittle in the back of the end zone.
Samuel.
Debo 10. Debo touchdown.
And McCaffrey.
Touchdown. CMC.
They all live here on Sactown Sports.
Your official home for 49ers football.
At the Gonzalez Law Office, we focus on trials and litigation to achieve the best result. For over a decade, Jonathan Gonzalez has conducted more than 60 jury trials to verdict, and since 2016, has only lost 2. We understand how to fight for our clients and make sure our clients get the best results. We don't settle for less, and neither should you. Call us to handle all your criminal and injury cases. 916-304-9187. That's 916-304-9187. Or visit us at saclegaldefense.com.
The folks at M&S Auto know that inflation is tough on everybody. If you need an excellent, gently used car or truck, M&S has hundreds of vehicles on the lot on El Camino, just off the Cap City Freeway. M&S customers get great deals and they save thousands. Get a great deal now on super clean 4x4s, including Tacomas, Silverados, and Jeeps, and muscle cars, Challengers, Teslas, Mustangs, and even the occasional McLaren. M&S Auto, msautogroup.com.
After months of rain and mud, nothing beats a fresh pair of work boots. At Work World, it's the perfect time to gear up with new Wolverine boots during our annual spring sale. Wolverine boots have been trusted by American workers for over a century, and new innovative technology like Ultra Spring cushioning will have your feet thanking you on the job site. Shop Wolverine and find great limited time deals on workwear and boots during the spring sale at Work World. Find your local store and shop online at workworld.com.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave telling you something you already know, which is your time is important. That's why at American Energy Heat and Air, they make shopping for a new furnace or air conditioner easier with their new online quoting tool. All you got to do is go to AmericanEnergyAir.com and get an instant quote now, today. Do it right now. It'll help you determine what system you'll need to get and provide the best pricing options, all from the comforts of your home. You don't have to have somebody come out and walk around your house and blah, blah, blah. Just do the quoting tool. It's so easy. AmericanEnergyAir.com. Check out how easy it can be. A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau. Serving the greater Sacramento area since 1981. I absolutely love these folks. 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990 or AmericanEnergyAir.com, making the uncomfortable comfortable.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
We all know the pain of being stuck in the past. But with Roseville Electric, you can get current with clean, reliable electric solutions for your home or business. For more info, visit getcurrentroseville.com today.
Get to Acura of Stockton, where precision-crafted performance is at your fingertips. Elevate your driving experience with a vehicle that's built to impress. Acura of Stockton has a great selection of new Acuras and customer service that will exceed your expectations. And right now, lease a new Acura TLX, MDX, or Integra with low lease rates available. Take luxury to a whole new level in a new Acura from Acura of Stockton and AcuraofStockton.com.
With you 1 mile at a time during the afternoon drive. Cattles and Ramie.
Sactown Sports.
AC at Cattles in the YouTube chat. And in parentheses, everyone else who's a doubter. Bench players step up at home. Davion Mitchell will have a great game. Everyone will bring their A game for Game 5 in front of the home crowd.
I hope so. I hope guys have an out-of-body experience. You know what I mean? Happens. That stuff happens. Okay? But that's what it's going to take, is basically an out-of-body experience from somebody or somebodies on the Sacramento Kings to beat the Warriors without De'Aaron Fox.
Want to remind you the first round playoff coverage here on Sactown Sports brought to you by National Garage Door. National Garage Door, quality doors, quality people. Some other reaction to the De'Aaron Fox injury news. Amadrox says, had to compose myself before joining the chat. This news about Fox, I can relate to getting something stolen from you and you have the empty feeling in your stomach. Ugh. Tyler Boyce in the YouTube chat, youtube.com, Sactown Sports 1140. Based on Woj's report, it sounds like Fox will likely play, but how effective would he be, though? That's the question, Tyler. Number one, I don't know if I'd say likely. Again, let's all take a deep breath. Woj said there's hope. There's hope that Fox might be able to play. Hope.
That helped.
But none of us have any idea of how this finger is going to look on Wednesday. Nobody has any idea of how Fox is going to feel as Ramie meditates. Nobody knows.
Oh, man.
Nobody knows. But if he does play.
I feel much better.
If he does play, that's the point. Like, even if Fox plays and he gives you like 70% or 75%, that's still a major hit. Now, you could survive that if you told me other guys were absolutely going to step up, but that's no guarantee. It's no guarantee Kevin Huerter's going to wake up. No guarantee that HB is going to play much better than he has. By the way, we're going to talk about this guy in a little bit, but there's no guarantee Domas is going to be regular season Domas, which he has not been in this series.
Still waiting for that guy.
Game 2 was great. Other than that, not so good. So you have a number of different problems here. You have a number of different problems when Fox is playing, let alone when he's not playing. TCG, I feel like Charlie Brown and the football just got yanked as I tried to kick it. Bottom line, Fox won't be 100%, and in a series this closely contested, that isn't promising. Actually hope he doesn't play so the role players have a chance to pull out a miracle.
Don't. But you know what? You were saying before, like, of course, the WebMDs come out when you have an injury like this. I knew it was only a matter of time before we got something along the lines of they might be better without him. You know what I mean? Oh, now it gives the role guys a chance to step up. No, they're not as good.
Yeah, like your role players are role players for a reason.
Yeah, exactly.
They play the role off of the superstars.
Anytime, dude. We should have a bingo card ready for when major injuries happen and how people cope with it. You know what I mean? There's the WebMDs. You're gonna have people who are like, oh, they might be better without that guy. No, they're not gonna be better without that guy. Yeah, you needed role players to step up with De'Aaron Fox to beat the Warriors.
Well, Homer James, appropriately named, says, be optimistic, Ramie, instead of pessimistic.
I'll get there. Sure.
By Wednesday, when we're at Doko, Ramie's going to be jumping off.
Shirt off.
The show, like.
Wave around my head like a helicopter.
Davion's going to drop 50. Keegan Murray's back after what happened in Game 4. Watch out. He's going to drop 30. Kevin Huerter's going to wipe off the mothballs that are on him right now.
That guy's literally not. Has he been in this series?
Be able to pry his eyes open with some toothpicks and send him out there. Go get him, Kayvon.
That's who we need.
Kevin Huerter.
Tape some toothpicks and just bridge them eyes open. Maybe you'll see the bucket better.
That's the guy you need to wake up in this thing is Kayvon. Not Kevin. You need Kayvon to wake up on Wednesday.
Somebody needs to wake up. Kayvon, Kevin, Red Velvet, whatever name you want to call him. Whatever personality he can bring to the table that will play well. Please, Kevin, this is the time. Meanwhile, Eastern Conference playoff picture. 76ers moving on. They sweep the Nets. The bigger story really is Joel Embiid's knee. Here was Doc Rivers before Game 4 on Embiid's situation, and obviously Doc did not sound particularly optimistic about the situation.
Just the test after the game in the locker room. I mean, you think about it, down the stretch, he made 2 amazing plays. The block shot was huge. But from my understanding, they checked his knee out right after the game because he was complaining about some sore behind the knee, which is always a scary thing when it's behind the knee with players. And they were swelling already, which was way too early. And so we did the MRI. You know, as a coach, I hate that word. I hate those 3 letters. I mean, because it never comes out well. It just feels like that whenever they tell the coach, hey, we're going to get an MRI. You know, it doesn't turn out well most of the time, and this one did not.
So Doc not sounding too optimistic. And obviously, if you're the 76ers, Ramie, you're hoping that the Celtics-Hawks series goes a little bit longer because that gives you more time to rest up Embiid and hopefully get him back by game one. So I'm sure the 76ers aren't pumped that DeJounte Murray decided to bump an official after the game yesterday and get suspended for tomorrow night's game. That does not help their cause. It's also, though, a big sweep for Philly because you were able to take care of business. You didn't prolong this series. So, again, your guys can rest. So I thought it was a big win for them over the weekend. Also, Ramie, the Knicks are up 3-1 on Cleveland. Cleveland's first half yesterday.
Did not see that coming.
The first half from the Cavs, man, they looked like a team that was completely unprepared. Donovan Mitchell stunk.
Disappeared in the fourth quarter.
Mitchell had 11 points.
Oof.
He didn't score in the second half until there was like 9 minutes left in this game.
Oof.
5 of 18 from the floor.
And Knicks fans are out of pocket.
0 for
Bing bong.
0 for 4 from 3.
They're asking KD again if he regrets not going to the Knicks.
Here was Donovan Mitchell in the post game yesterday.
If you go up 3-1, you're not built for these moments. At the end of the day, like I said, it's probably the second or third worst playoff game of my career. I didn't show up for my guys. Ultimately, everybody did their job. We had our faults as a group, but ultimately I didn't do what I was supposed to do. And I take that, and I gotta just be better.
How hard is that for you?
Believe it or not, I've had worse playoff games. So I've been here before. It's just a matter of going out there and just trying to be better for my teammates.
I love Donovan Mitchell. He's like one of my favorite players in the NBA just because of his competitiveness and his personality and his approach and all that. But I will say there are two things that are weaknesses of his, and they hurt the team when they pop up. Number one, when he's having a tough game, he doesn't necessarily find other ways to help you win. He takes bad shot after bad shot. And that's what happened yesterday. He was trying to force himself into that game, and he took 3 or 4 really bad shots in the fourth quarter. It's like, man, look, you don't have it today. It's fine. Find somebody else who does. Darius Garland was really good in the second half. Find a friend, live to see another day. But he just kept forcing shots and going against double teams, and it was just bad. His defense also has not been at the level ever since he's been in the NBA for some reason. He was a really good defender in college. He hasn't shown on that end of the floor consistently in the NBA. So you saw some of that. One more thing, Ramie, about that series. JB Bickerstaff sucks. Their coach is awful. Awful. Awful.
You were all over the Cavs bandwagon. I think as
like the team.
As Friday.
I like the team. They could have won that game yesterday. JB Bickerstaff's going to cost them. It's going to cost them. He took out Okoro because he missed 2 corner threes. He put City Osman in the game.
I thought Tom Thibodeau.
City Osman.
I thought Tom Thibodeau this game had passed him by. Here he is.
Osman, who ended up, he blew like 4 or 5 defensive assignments late in the game. It's like just running around like a chicken with his head cut off.
I do like seeing the Knicks be good because I know eventually they won't be.
I will say MSG was loud.
It's one of the best fan bases to watch, run off the cliff when things go bad.
Yeah.
I love it. It's one of my favorite things is when it goes from good to bad for Knicks fans. It's one of my favorite things in all of sports. It's just a matter of time. Let them have this right now. And in 2 to 3 weeks, we'll see the flip side of this coin. And it's going to be hilarious. The higher up they get, the longer that fall is.
2 more quick notes about the East. Giannis, questionable. Looks like he might return tonight.
Yeah, it looks like
the Bucks down 2-1 in that series.
Candle worked.
And the Celtics are up 3-1 after beating Atlanta yesterday. And again, DeJounte Murray is going to be suspended for Game 5 tomorrow for bumping a ref in the post game as the game was ending. He walked up to him, gave him a bump, and now he's out. So Raleigh Coppin, YouTube.com, Sactown Sports 1140. You guys are way too negative and trashing role players. Peace out with the peace sign. Look, man, we're not trashing role players. We're telling you why they're called role players. You don't depend on your role players to carry you to a series win, okay? Again, I want you all who are debating this. And I think most of you are being incredibly realistic like Ramie and I are. But I want all of you who are like, how dare you trash their role players? Okay. If you're a Warriors fan, would you feel super confident if Steph Curry was not playing at 100% and you had to rely on Dante DiVincenzo and Jonathan Kuminga? Would you sit there and be like, DiVincenzo can help, you're going to win this series for us? I'm not worried about Steph Curry not being 100%. Dante DiVincenzo's a scrapper. He can play defense. He hits the occasional shot. He's more athletic than you think. Just be realistic, folks. Be realistic. We don't know if Fox is going to play. If Fox is out of this series, the Warriors are by far the favorites in this series. By far. Just is what it is.
Are we telling people something they don't know when you say that?
No, again, I think the majority of people are realistic. They know, like TCG and many others have been saying, like, this sucks. Brutal. Bad injury.
By the way, can we get 5 more likes to hit 50 in the first hour, even though we're negative? Suck.
Cole G said, trashing role players are just having realistic expectations for them.
I see Done with Fox is trending on Twitter. That's a little harsh, folks. It's a little harsh.
You've been wanting to get that in since about 2:15. How accomplished do you feel right now for being able to slide that in by the end of the first hour? You are so happy with that.
That is pretty brutal. That's
right?
Trending. Yeah.
The guy broke his finger. You're done with him? So many people are done with him that it's trending? That's wild. That's crazy. Y'all are crazy.
I'm just going to not pay attention to the YouTube chats that come in and actually treat that as a thing because of you. Just gonna ignore all of it. All right, we'll continue with the conversation here. De'Aaron Fox fractured tip of the index finger on his shooting hand. He is doubtful for Wednesday night. We'll continue to talk about that. Also, with Fox hurting, it's time for Domas to find his consistency.
Cattles and Ramie.
Sactown Sports. It's the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
A source is I've read it a couple times online.
Dave, I mean, I don't need any more, do you?
I'm convinced because if you read it just once online,
yeah, a couple,
it's garbage.
I have really read it.
If you read it a couple times, well, lock it in, baby.
I see why you love this segment, Dave.
I do.
The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross. Weekday mornings from 6 to 10 on Sactown Sports.
I'm Scott Trout, attorney and CEO of the domestic litigation firm Cordell & Cordell. We help men deal with the life changes triggered by divorce, such as child custody and property division, among many others. But life changes also occur after divorce. These changes can make parts of your existing court order irrelevant or harder to follow. If you feel a modification to your court orders might be necessary, talk to us at Cordell & Cordell. We're a partner men can count on.
500 Capitol Mall, Suite 2060, Sacramento, California, 95814. Cordell.
Selling your home can be stressful. Scott Marsh here to tell you about Bridgehaven Homes. They are a local home buying company that offers homeowners an easier way to sell their home. Bridgehaven Homes gives you an all-cash offer for your home, no matter what the condition, within 24 hours. You pick the date you wish to close and sell on your terms. No repairs, no showings, and no realtor commissions. Call 916-299-6040. That's 916-299-6040 or bridgehavenhomes.com.
Power Business Technology is proud to be 100% independent, locally owned, and managed Toshiba copier dealer. Local ownership cuts out the red tape, allowing ourselves to never be too busy to personally answer the call when our clients need us. Recognized for excellence in service execution, training, and customer service, we're proud to be named a 2022 Toshiba ProMasters Elite Dealer. Contact us today for all of your business printing needs at 844-POWER-BZ. That's 844-769-3729, or visit us at powercopiers.com.
ACR Solar and Home Improvements did a great job to keep my family covered with our brand new roof. And what an experience that was for us. Now we're comfortable and dry during the Sacramento rainy season, and our home value has increased. Plus, the home itself, it's looking and functioning at its very best. And you can get the same quality experience with ACR Solar and Home Improvements. ACR Solar and Home Improvements has been bringing us all the highest quality, value, and integrity since 1979. Go to acrsolar.com.
Ray Magliozzi here for eBay Motors. Okay, easy now. You're teaching your kid how to parallel park. Ouch! Turns out he likes to do it by feel. Don't worry, eBay Motors has bumpers, trunk lids, license plate holders, and headlights. They've got lots of headlights. When you need parts, get it right the first time with eBay Guaranteed Fit. When you see the check, you know that part's going to fit. eBay Motors. Let's ride. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Yes, we do have availability. Those dates for how many guests?
Andrea's Boutique Hotel is the destination to tie the knot.
Oh, you want the whole property?
She needs an assistant to catch the bookings bouquets.
249 guests, huh? Oh, and 3 dogs.
Indeed can help her hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. We instantly connect you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Great team, great team. Where's the defense? Defense! Okay, everyone take a break. Greetings, Sacramento. Doug Christie here for the Good Feet store, asking, when is something too good to be true? When it probably is. And had I not experienced it for myself, this spectacular season would definitely qualify as too good to be true. So everyone out there in Radio Land, continue to enjoy. Something else that could seem too good to be true is Good Feet Arch Supports. But trust me, I've experienced firsthand the comfort, balance, and support possible with Good Feet Arch Supports. And so have countless others who have pretty much given up hope. It's time you felt good again. Take your feet to the Good Feet store for a free personalized arch support fitting and test walk. Experience for yourself the comfort, balance, and support missing in your life. The Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, Stockton, Modesto, and now Vacaville, online at goodfeet.com.
KHTK AM HD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios, your local sports leader in the 916. This is Sactown Sports. Sactown Sports.
Headlines.
With your Sactown Sports headlines, I'm Simone Rickford. The Sacramento Kings couldn't find the dagger in the final seconds of Game 4 for the Battle of NorCal in the 126-125 loss yesterday, and now only eclipsed by a deeply concerning report regarding De'Aaron Fox. Charania of The Athletic reported earlier this afternoon that Fox has suffered a fractured index finger in his left shooting hand. Fox is expected to be listed as doubtful to play in Game 5 versus the Warriors. The Kings All-Star guard is believed to have sustained the injury midway through the fourth quarter of Game 4 and played through it. Fox had 38 points, 9 boards, and 5 assists on Sunday. Check out our latest findings on this impactful development only on SactownSports.com. And finally, breaking news out of the NFL as Packers and Jets have agreed to a mega trade sending 4-time MVP Aaron Rodgers to New York. And without further ado, let's get into it.
Let's get it.
I'm Simone. Those are your Sactown Sports headlines. Welcome back into Cattles and Ramie.
Live and local in the afternoon.
They always keep you on edge.
Cattles
and Ramie
on Sactown Sports.
Sup, boy? YouTube.com, Sactown Sports 1140. By the way, done with Fox about Fox News, not De'Aaron.
What?
Silent in the YouTube chat. The Done with Fox trend is about Fox News.
Huh?
Y'all know that he knows this, right? Y'all know that this is Ramie, right? That's why he was like a 5-year-old boy in Christmas morning to slide that in at the end of the first. He was salivating for the perfect time. I will give you credit. You didn't do it in the middle of the segment.
I found a good opening, right?
Yeah.
I didn't crowbar it in there.
No.
Timing is everything.
I give you credit for that.
Place and time and place for everything.
Yes, indeed. Anyway, we're talking about the De'Aaron Fox injury, a fractured tip to his left index finger. He is doubtful for Game 5 on Wednesday. Adrian Wojnarowski says there is still some hope that he will play on Wednesday. He could maybe put a protective covering over that index finger in play. And I know somebody brought this up earlier. You know, Kobe Bryant, he played with a fractured finger and all of that, and the Lakers ended up winning a championship. Again, I'm not going to compare this to other injuries. I'm not going to sit here and try to tell you that I'm some doctor, what this means. Everybody is different, people, okay? The injury to De'Aaron is on his shooting hand, and it's his index finger. It's a different spot where Kobe had his injury. Not every fracture is the same. Not every reaction that your body has to the injury is the same. So let's not get into that. Let's certainly hope that Fox is able to play on Wednesday.
Because you know what that's setting up for, right?
And see how he plays.
If he doesn't play, for people to go,
the soft
Kobe
stuff.
played with, like I said, our injury bingo card. You can put that on there too. Guy doesn't play, so he's soft or not as tough as player X who played with a similar injury. You know what I mean? That's definitely going to happen if De'Aaron Fox doesn't play on Wednesday.
Yes. By the way, the NBA news just keeps coming on in.
Yeah.
Giannis has officially been cleared to return tonight against the Miami Heat, according to Chris Haynes. If you're just joining us, I mean, just a ton of news today. Giannis returning. DeJounte Murray suspended for the Hawks Game 5. Ime Udoka is the new head coach of the Houston Rockets. We still have to get to Aaron Rodgers at some point during the show. He was traded to the Jets today, finally.
I almost got during the break with a fake report that Jerry Stackhouse was the new Raptors head coach.
That almost happened. So there's a lot to get to, but obviously story 1A today is De'Aaron Fox's injury, and we'll get back to your reaction in a few minutes. But Ramie, I was going to talk about Davion tomorrow because watching the game yesterday, I tweeted this at Nick C Radio. Even if Fox was completely healthy, if I were Coach Brown, I would have started Davion Wednesday night. I've seen enough from Kevin Huerter. I've seen how Davion has played against Steph Curry in this series. I would have started Davion. I would have put Huerter on the bench. And I would have had Fox defend Klay Thompson, and I'd go from there. Davion's giving you much more than what Kevin Huerter is giving you right now. So that's the move I would have made. But now, with the Fox injury news, I mean, it certainly stands to reason that Davion is going to get some minutes and some big minutes. And I would imagine he'll be starting on Wednesday if Fox is unable to go. And so, how all of this factors in, we'll see. But I think at this point, I'm going to lean towards Fox not playing. I hope he surprises me. I hope he's out there.
Nick.
I hope he surprises me and plays. I hope he's effective. I hope he's 75% and can give the team something. But right now, to me, all eyes on Davion Mitchell.
Yeah, I don't know if I was ready to pull Huerter out of the lineup or greatly reduce his minutes any more than they've already been reduced, Nick, because that's one of those things. And really, the more and more that Golden State gets their offense going, and it seems like every game their offense is clicking just a little bit more. When you look at the totals at the end of a basketball game, it was almost do or die with Kevin Huerter for me. Like, you were going to need him to start shooting the ball well, or you were going to lose. And I didn't see any way around that by pulling him out for Davion Mitchell or anybody else. I love what Davion Mitchell has brought in this series. And somebody just said on the Tall Chinese Guy, just said in the YouTube chat, Davion has to be on the court whenever Curry is on the court. If I'm Mike Brown, and he has to a degree throughout the series. Yeah. He has to a degree during this series. A lot of my rotations and when Davion Mitchell is getting in the game depends on Stephen Curry's substitution patterns. You know what I mean? But I don't know if I'm going to put him in the starting lineup and bench Kevin Huerter, because I think you were going to need Kevin Huerter with or without the injury to De'Aaron Fox.
But he's not playing well enough defensively. And you're also burning Fox by having him cover Curry for major stretches. I just think it would help conserve the tank of Fox. You would be so much better defensively with Davion and Fox as your backcourt. Yes, you'd be a little bit smaller and you'd give up something against Klay, but I'd rather give up something a little bit against Klay and have Davion defend Curry than have Fox try to defend Curry and have Klay, have to handle Kevin, because Kevin Huerter's just not playing well enough. And so that's what I would have done. But look, I think Davion is the easy go-to if Fox is out. He has the talent. I've said this his entire career. I love Davion coming out of college. I liked what I saw his rookie season. I thought he played pretty good when Fox sat out last year with the injury towards the tail end for the last 15, 16, 17 games. Davion played well. He has the talent to be a starting point guard in the league. And I think this is a gigantic opportunity for him if Fox is unable to go. This is his moment. And Davion's played in a lot of big games, man. He was excellent in the NCAA tournament for Baylor. He balled out. And so far, his first postseason in the NBA, he's been much better this postseason than he was in the regular season. So I think, he has proven himself to be the guy to kind of step up in some moments. And this is the biggest moment.
Mm-hmm.
If again, we don't know if Fox can't go. It's a huge moment for Davion. And meanwhile, if Fox can't go, because I don't think we're going to get word whether or not Fox is playing until Wednesday right before the game. But we're going to be messing around with this. He could play. They have hope for the next 2 days.
That's how I'd play it if I'm the Kings.
100%.
Sure. Yeah.
That's how you have to play it. We're not going to know. So let's go off of the premise that Fox doesn't play, because I just told you what I would do if Fox plays. I'd still start Davion next to Fox. I'd slide Fox to the quote-unquote 2. If Fox doesn't play, there's a lot of pressure on Kevin Huerter and Malik Monk to play the best defense that they can possibly play. They have to step up. They have to step up and play both ends of the floor. They have to be consistent on both ends of the floor. And I would not be surprised if Fox is out if Kessler Edwards gets a shot off the bench, because you're going to need, you can't rely. Trey Lyles is not a great defender. He tries, not a great defender. Terrence Davis is not a great defender, not even good. Kevin Huerter hasn't been very good in this series defensively. Keegan was good yesterday. He was awful before then. And as we know, Malik is kind of in and out.
Remember before the playoffs started and somebody asked us, we were talking about the previous meeting, the regular season meetings between the Warriors and the Kings, and somebody said, did the Kings have Kessler Edwards during those games? We thought that was a fine point then. All the more important now that you don't have or might not have De'Aaron Fox for game 5.
And,
I just tells you, man, when you're relying on Kessler Edwards, you know what I mean? Which they might have to, Nick. But to your point, yes, Davion Mitchell is obviously going to have to start. If he plays this game and he's done a great job on Steph Curry, you're going to need some offense from him. And Kevin Huerter absolutely has to wake up if you don't have De'Aaron Fox for game 5. I can promise. I know we've been very negative and very down today, and
realistic.
That's rubbing some of you the wrong way.
Realistic.
You have they have a shot. They have a shot to beat the Kings without De'Aaron Fox. Zero chance. If we're not calling it the Kevin Huerter game the day after, you know what I mean? If we're not coming in on Thursday and calling game 5 the Kevin Huerter game, they have zero chance of winning that basketball game.
Here's the biggest issue to me: the clutch minutes. Right? Even if you want to tell me that Kevin Huerter pops off, even if if everything, look, here's the deal. For you to win without De'Aaron Fox, again, if the premise is he's not playing, you need everything to go right. Simple. You just need everything to go right. You have zero margin for error. Even if you play that well and you get to the final 5 minutes and it's a close game, De'Aaron Fox isn't out there. He's been your hero.
Yep.
He's been your savior. Now you're asking other guys in the final moments of playoff games against the defending world champions to produce at the level of the best clutch player in the NBA this year. We're not talking about somebody who scored a little bit here and there in the fourth quarter. We're talking about the guy that we've said all year long, best clutch player in the NBA. This offense in the final 5 minutes of a game is all about De'Aaron Fox. If he's not playing, you remove that from the equation. Now you've got to find offense in the final 5 minutes. That's a huge, gigantic challenge. Gigantic.
Like you said before, if you're sitting here today going, no big deal, you're being dismissive of De'Aaron Fox is what you're doing. You're not being you are being an optimistic Kings fan. And I get that. We sometimes have to convince ourselves of things that are, have a slim to none possibility of happening. But you are basically minimizing De'Aaron Fox and how good he's been for this Kings team. If you're sitting here today and going, this is not a big deal. What are Cattles and Ramie freaking out about? There's every reason to freak out today.
Yeah.
There's every reason.
For all the times that you were doing cartwheels, and rightfully so, over De'Aaron Fox during the regular season, you can't spin it now and go, not that big of a deal. We'll continue with your reaction, 916-339-1140. I got to get to these phones, too. I see many of you waiting patiently, 1-800-920-1140. Don't forget, youtube.com, Sactown Sports 1140. Swing on by. Give us that thumbs up. looking to get to 50. We're at 49. So let's shift to 75. Trying to get 75 likes by the end of this hour. Help us out, would you? YouTube.com, Sactown Sports 1140. In 90 seconds, more of your reaction. Also, Ramie and I are more than happy to welcome Keegan Murray to the 2023 NBA playoffs.
Cattles
and Ramie.
Sactown Sports. Are you ready to hear this on Sactown Sports?
Handoff McCaffrey. Touchdown! San Francisco!
Or how about this?
Feel super, baby! The five-time Super Bowl champions, and they're looking for number 6.
Catch every Niners game during the 2023 season
On your home for the 49ers.
Sactown Sports.
Have you Googled yourself lately? Are there negative posts from an ex-employee or a former client? Maybe an outdated news article or sensitive personal information about your family? Search engines don't always get it right, but right or wrong, it's your reputation on the line. That's where Reputation Defender by Norton comes in. One of the most trusted names in online reputation repair, Reputation Defender has been fixing people's search results for over 15 years. Their cutting-edge approaches help you to wipe away unwanted information in your search results. They also promote the good stuff so that it rises to the top, helping you put your best foot forward. Your good name is too valuable to leave to the whims of a Google algorithm. Take control with Reputation Defender. You can start by getting your free reputation report card at reputationdefender.com or call 800-401-6681 to speak to an expert. That's 800-401-6681.
One brings Makloff magic, while the other, we're still trying to figure that out.
Cattles and Ramie.
Sactown Sports.
Sean Cunningham from Fox 40 will join us in about 15 minutes to talk about the De'Aaron Fox injury, his thoughts on this series. Again, that's coming up in 15 minutes. And, of course, he'll be joining us on the Folsom Lake Honda Hotline. Back to some of your reaction before we happily welcome Keegan Murray to the 2023 NBA playoffs after his performance yesterday. Joe in the YouTube chat, this is just a game being played by the front office. Fox is playing.
Ooh, gamesmanship. Little is he hurt, is he not? You know?
Maybe he plays. Maybe he plays.
Yeah, I mean, it's not out of question. Giannis was doubtful as of yesterday.
Our guy Frankie Carticelli, by the way, if you want all the WebMD stuff, follow Frankie. He's got the picture of Kobe, and it does look like it was Kobe's shooting index finger, actually.
Oh,
yeah. So
then De'Aaron Fox is definitely playing.
So again, we don't know if he's going to play. I'm not playing a doctor. I have no interest in that. And we don't know if he does play on Wednesday, how he's going to look. And
let's keep it a buck. We love De'Aaron Fox, but he's not Kobe. He's not Kobe Bryant.
How dare you, JJ?
Let's just stop that comparison.
Why are you so negative?
I don't think nobody's comparing Kobe.
Yeah, but I don't even put that in the hemisphere. If he was Kobe Bryant, the Kings would have been winning championship.
Blame Frankie C. Again, we don't know. We don't know if De'Aaron's going to play. He played the final 4.5 minutes with the injury, but we don't know how a body is going to react to the injury. I think it's unfair. And I think Ramie's right. This idea of kind of building this up almost to make Fox fail if he doesn't play. It's like, oh, well, other guys have played with this. We don't know what's going on. We don't know how his body's going to react. You know, if I were betting, I think Fox will give it a try. I think Fox, as long as the medical staff says it's okay.
Oh, yeah.
I think Fox will attempt to play on Wednesday.
I bet he's walking around the building today saying, I'm playing on Wednesday.
But, you know, anything less than 80% Fox and you're in trouble. It's the reality of the situation, folks. Just like I've been saying through the first 90 minutes of the show. You know, if you're a Warriors fan and Steph Curry goes through this injury and you say Steph Curry's 60%, Warriors fans would be like, oh, hell. And, you know, if the injury happened to Curry the people that are in the chat right now going, oh, don't be so pessimistic. All of you would be ready for the second round of the playoffs as soon as you saw something like this happening to Steph Curry.
Dang it. I clicked on the link that Frankie had of like the medical breakdown, and now I'm down that rabbit hole.
Brian Cardicelli.
How would I do that?
Nick, you both are spot on. I don't think you're trashing anybody. You're being realistic and explain.
Was Brian the Cardicelli that we met?
Yes.
Okay. I knew we met another Cardicelli.
Yes, you get very excited about that.
I did.
Before we get back to your reaction here, I want to get to a couple of phone calls to see you
not
waiting.
the mayor, by the way. He didn't get excited when he met the mayor.
No, he didn't. He had no idea it was the mayor, even when you told him it was the mayor. Welcome to the playoffs.
That was just a dude whose nickname was the mayor. Lots of people are nicknamed the mayor. I didn't know.
Welcome to the NBA playoffs. Keegan Murray, 23-7 yesterday. He shot 7 of 13 from the field, 5 of 7 from 3. I thought he had more urgency in his off-ball movement. He was much more aggressive than he had been in the early, portion of this series, first 3 games. I don't know if this means the light went off or it's just a flash. Again, we'll have to see, but it was excellent to see Keegan get going yesterday and have 23 points. Here was Murray in the postgame.
Yeah, I've just tried to be more aggressive throughout the playoffs, and I knew eventually I'd catch my stride on the offensive end. So it was just a matter of time, and I just came in confident and just tried to figure out what they were doing against me and just try to figure out how I could get open looks. So
that was huge. And one of the reasons that I was ready to come in here today and tell Kings fans nothing to worry about. They got this series. Nick, I was going to come in here today and tell you the Kings aren't losing another game in this series, that it's Kings in 6. And one of the major reasons why was what we saw from Keegan Murray yesterday, because I said before game 4 on Friday when we were previewing it, I said the clock is ticking, and so hopefully it's not too late. But there was a leveling of the waters in terms of how bad the Kings were shooting the ball. It was bound to happen. It was inevitable because they shot so poorly for games 1 through 3 that they were just too good an offensive team to keep performing at that level. The ball just wasn't falling through the hoop. And one of the 2 guys really that you needed to wake up was Keegan Murray. The other one was Kevin Huerter. And I thought if either one of those guys got their game going with what De'Aaron Fox was doing in this series, and Malik Monk has had his, Monk moments throughout the series, but
he's given us the full Monk
with what he's given you off the bench, with what Davion Mitchell has been doing to make Steph Curry's life hard. I was just waiting for one of those 2 guys and their shooting to sort of get going. And when Keegan Murray did what he did yesterday, it was one of the reasons that I was feeling really good about this series, despite the result that we saw on the scoreboard yesterday. And also, I just feel good for Keegan Murray. You know what I mean? Because you have to imagine that even though he doesn't show it, that those struggles wear on him in the playoffs, and just the pressure of the playoffs had to be wearing on him.
He needed it.
He's got to feel like 1,000,000 pounds lifted off his back with that performance yesterday. And hopefully that means that he's not feeling the pressure for the remainder of this series, however long that might be. You're going to need him.
All right, let's go to line 2. Let's go to Chris on line 2. He's been patient. What's up, Chris?
Hey, guys. It's frustrating because I can't remember a series that I've watched in the last few years that's been as exciting as this one. And this had Game 7 written all over it. I mean, just so much fun to watch. And, yeah, you guys are probably right. If Fox don't play, this probably is over. But, one thing I'd like to see more of is yesterday's game. I really enjoy watching Sabonis when he gets – I don't feel like there's anyone on the Warriors that can slow him down when he gets down low in position. And I'd really like to see him just take over. I feel like he could potentially just get him when he gets down low like that. I feel like it's almost an automatic bucket. And I'm hoping maybe what we see from Keegan is maybe it'll carry over. And I would like to see one of the points you brought up about Davion. When Davion's on Curry, you can see Curry working almost twice as hard just to get moving and trying to get his open looks than when other Kings are guarding him. So I'd love to see Mitchell on him most of the game just to see if maybe you can just make him a little uncomfortable, just to knock him off a little bit. And maybe we get a collective effort if Fox doesn't play. And look, we can't lose the series on Wednesday. We can't win the series. But if we can find a way to sneak one out, that guarantees us a Game 7. So that's how I'm looking at it. Just find any way, muck it up, do what you got to do. Maybe finally get us a bonus game. a 25 and 17, something crazy, and just everyone else clicks in, and maybe we can get it done.
All right, Chris, thanks for the phone call, and appreciate your patience, my man. Yeah, look, I mean, the Sabonis stuff, you're preaching to the choir. I don't know how many times during the regular season, and I just don't know if people appreciated, what we had been saying in the regular season, Ramie, because the regular season was going really well, obviously. You won 48 games. It was like, why mess with a good thing? I've been saying since early in the season, you can make it a little bit easier on your offense if you get Domas deeper into the paint at times and get him some deep paint touches. For some reason, that hasn't been the case. And they run their offense. Early in the game, we'll talk a little bit more about this later when we talk about Domas.
Mm-hmm.
But early in the game, they actually ran some inverse screens to get Domas to the bucket. And then it seemed to me like they kind of just went back to the same old offense in the second half. It's like they made a point to get Domas going early, but then they didn't do much of that later on.
Yeah, I didn't understand
I don't get it.
I didn't understand that at all.
I don't get it. Sean Cunningham joins us to talk Kings Warriors next.
Cattles
and Ramie.
Sactown Sports. It's the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
Good morning, Jacob. Welcome in.
Sac Kings fans are the best. I was at game 2. Every single man in the bathroom at halftime washed his hands. I've never seen that at another sports stadium anywhere in the world.
Way to go, Kings fans. I don't think I would have ever expected to hear that call.
We're the cleanest fans in the NBA.
The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross. Weekday mornings from 6 to 10 on Sactown Sports.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by Bonnie.
I'm Tampa Berg in the KCRA 3 Weather Center. Your Monday forecast looks pretty nice from start to finish. We'll enjoy mainly sunny skies with light westerly winds and highs today in the lower 80s, expecting overnight lows in the low 50s. You can get the latest forecast on the KCRA 3 News and the KCRA 3 app.
Plumbing, electrical, heating and air, everything that makes your home your home. With Bonnie, you sure got that covered. And right now, get your air conditioner tuned up for just $79. Originally $129. Bonnie.com. Bonnie.
When you're an innovative business, every blinking cursor, every blank page is an opportunity. What will you do with it? Will you make something better or create something new? Our Dell Technologies advisors provide you with tools and expertise to do incredible things. Because we believe there's an innovator in all of us. For advice on smart PCs powered by Intel vPro that's built for business, call a Dell Technologies advisor at 877-ASK-DELL.
Progressive presents Precious Moments.
Hey, Jess, want to come for a ride on my motorcycle? We can talk about our feelings and explore our emotional compatibility.
I thought you'd never ask.
The exchange you just heard didn't actually happen, but it could. Bundle your home and other vehicles with Progressive and you could use the savings to make sure the motorcycle is always ready for your dream girl. So keep the dream alive and the savings coming with Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers.
As a roofer, I'm always on the go. So I need to be able to get things done from anywhere. That's why I partner with Beacon. With the new Beacon Pro Plus app, I've got the brands I depend on, like GAF, right at my fingertips. It's like having my Beacon rep in my pocket 24/7. I rely on Beacon because I never stop building, and neither do they. Now through June, purchase through Beacon Pro Plus and earn up to $1,500. Beacon, always building.
Kevin Lewis of National Garage Door. Whether you need to repair a broken spring, install the new opener, or buy a quality Rainer door, National Garage Door is here for you. Call us today to see how we can transform your house with a new garage door.
638-4554 National Garage Door.
Truck season savings extended at Maida Chevy in the Elk Grove Auto Mall. Got a huge selection of new 2022 and 23 half-ton Silverados in stock, ready to go. Find your savings at MaidaChevy.com. Find new roads.
This is your captain. You may have noticed my new haircut on your way in. Wanted to look my best. Got the new passport photo taken at Staples. In and out in 10 minutes. And while I'm there, I can grab travel-sized body wash. Maybe a shower cap. Don't want to mess up the new do.
Staples has everything you need to travel. 10-minute passport photos, luggage, headphones, even personal travel items. And now at Staples, get 20% off your in-store purchase when you buy any travel service. Get all set to jet and save at Staples. Offer ends 4/29. In-store only. Exclusions apply.
Jiffy Lube's Country in the Park, Northern California's biggest country music festival of the year, is back May 5th and 6th at Cal Expo, starring Lady A,
Chris Young,
Brett Eldridge,
and so many more.
plus a Boots Boot and Line Dance Saloon, interactive lounges, and Sacramento's best food trucks. Weekend passes start at just $80. Tickets are on sale now at SactownSports.com. Country in the Park, brought to you by Cache Creek Casino Resort, Hanley's Western Wear, and Quick Pack Car Wash.
Guys, did you know your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED? And right now, Revive Men's Health Sacramento will check your testosterone for free. They've helped thousands of men since 2011 feel and perform better. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Schedule your free testosterone test, exam, and consultation today. Call 916-277-8599. That's 916-277-8599. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
We all know the pain of being stuck in the past. But with Roseville Electric, you can get current. Roseville Electric provides you with clean, reliable electric solutions for your home or business. Whether you're looking to go electric, reduce your carbon footprint, or simply save on your monthly energy bill, Roseville Electric has a solution for you. For more info, visit getcurrentroseville.com today.
At aimyourdigital.com, we'll help you find the right customers, spread awareness of your product or services. We can help build trust in your brand and services with a digital marketing campaign, increase leads, and get more customers. We create tailored digital marketing campaigns that deliver results. Don't wait. Get started today. Contact aimyourdigital.com. That's aimyourdigital.com and start seeing results.
Sactown Sports
Headlines. With your Sactown Sports headlines, I'm Simone Rickford. The Sacramento Kings couldn't find the dagger in the final seconds of Game 4 for the Battle of NorCal in the 126-125 loss yesterday, and now only eclipsed by a deeply concerning report regarding De'Aaron Fox. Charania of The Athletic reported earlier this afternoon that Fox has suffered a fractured index finger in his left shooting hand. Fox is expected to be listed as doubtful to play in Game 5 versus the Warriors. The Kings All-Star guard is believed to have sustained the injury midway through the fourth quarter of Game 4 and played through it. Fox had 38 points, 9 boards, and 5 assists on Sunday. Check out our latest findings on this impactful development only on SactownSports.com. And finally, breaking news out of the NFL as Packers and Jets have agreed to a mega trade sending 4-time MVP Aaron Rodgers to New York. And without further ado, let's get into it.
Let's get it.
I'm Simone. Those are your Sactown Sports headlines. Joining us now from the Folsom Lake Honda hotline, please welcome in Sean Cunningham.
Cattles and Ramie.
Sactown
Sports.
Sean Cunningham from Fox 40 joins us on the Folsom Lake Honda hotline. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop. Sean, thanks for joining us. Your time, as always, is very much appreciated, my friend. Unfortunately, we had to start with the news. You know, we've been sitting around here trying to talk and vent our way through this thing, Sean. But De'Aaron Fox fractured index finger on his shooting hand. What have you heard? Any updates on his situation? What's going on?
No, man. I've talked to a few folks, both inside the walls, outside the walls, through the agency, through people that, just kind of screaming into any echo chamber I can find right now. And I think it really just going to come down to what type of device they can possibly wrap him up with on the finger, being that it is on the shooting hand of his hand there, and really come down to pain management, swelling, things like that. I think I think that knowing that there have been players that have been able to play through it, knowing where De'Aaron's head is at in terms of where the series is at. Speaking to him last night, I put out a video on my Twitter account earlier, just kind of showing how his demeanor was after possibly suffering the injury, which I think we all might have identified around the 4:35 mark of last night's game in the fourth quarter. Jordan Poole fouls him. Kevon Looney makes contact there. There's also another play subsequently a few moments later where Andrew Wiggins makes contact with that same hand. So you never really see him, at least in my footage. I know right after the play with Looney, you do see him kind of grab at the finger a little bit, but never really see him bothered by it. And of course, adrenaline is probably playing a huge role in that moment in that game. So I think there's optimism clearly, but I think a lot we'll know a lot more probably after practice on Tuesday. I would imagine that doubtful will probably increase to a questionable, and clearly the Kings know what it's like to play without De'Aaron Fox, 4-5 in the season without him. He's been lost at various points in previous seasons, and certainly if he's not there, it's not the end of the world in terms of the confidence the Kings will have, knowing that it is a best of three season on their home court for at least two of them, but certainly a mighty blow if he can't go.
If he can't go, what's the recipe or a formula for a Kings win? Because Nick and I have been sitting here today telling people that's a hard formula or recipe to come up with, and folks don't like hearing that, Sean.
It is. It definitely is. And I think, for a team that, let's face it, I mean, they play make through Domantas Sabonis. I mean, would he be playing a different role? He's tried to play, different spots, series, and I think most people would kind of chalk him up to being a little bit of a disappointment in the way that he's performed, only because of the immovable object that is Kevon Looney and Draymond Green playing some pretty stellar defense against him and frustrating him. But even when he hasn't looked right, he's been impactful through moments of the series. I think from a playmaking standpoint outside of him, you don't really have much. Clearly, Malik Monk has been able to fill a role there, and Davion Mitchell. I think they trust both of those guys, but obviously Monk is a little bit more of a risk taker, and when he turns the ball over, that's where things get kind of wonky for this team. So from a playmaking standpoint, it can get a little interesting, but these are the playoffs, and I think having 2 days to try to figure it out before going into Game 5, as opposed to, well, here you are in Chicago and you're playing the next night in Cleveland in the regular season. I kind of like the idea of being able to kind of find someone to at least facilitate there, but it's certainly not ideal.
Sean Cunningham is with us here. He's on the Folsom Lake Honda Hotline. Sean, how much pressure does this put on Kevin Huerter, who's had a really difficult time in this series, to step up for that backcourt?
Yeah, I don't know if pressure is the right word. Certainly it's going to mean increased playing time from what he saw in Game 4, in my estimation, especially if you do have someone like Malik Monk playing more of that point guard type role. Maybe the two of them are out on the floor a lot more together, and stretching the floor will be a lot better. Will be more advantageous for Sacramento at that point. But so there's going on with him in the last game, some rotational things that he couldn't really get going, and really coming off of Game 3 where he ended up being a little bit of a bright spot for Sacramento, despite them really not looking like Kings basketball you kind of grew them to in the regular season. Seeing him not have the type of production, or at least the minutes played that you would normally see, was a little out of character, a little out of question. But I think with the rotations and the adjustments that Mike Brown has gone through in this series, I'd be fully confident thinking that somebody like Kevin Huerter will play a bigger role in Game 5, and maybe that was just a little bit of a one-off. But fortunately, I think they're going to roll the dice more and hope the momentum carries over with someone like Keegan Murray playing well, and hopefully get Malik Monk going. And certainly we've seen what Davion Mitchell has been capable of in this series. So I'm saying all that knowing full well that there's still a big-time belief that De'Aaron Fox, can actually contribute and play in this series still. So I think whether Fox plays or not, I think those roles will all be increased as they go forward here in the next 3 games.
I know a lot of people felt like the pressure was put back on the Kings with the 2 wins by Golden State in Games 3 and 4. But honestly, during the timeout, before the last shot, De'Aaron Fox, I told myself, I'm going to feel pretty good about this series no matter what happens on this possession. And I did when all was said and done. That it took everything Golden State had as one of the best home teams in this league to pull that one out at the end, and the Kings to win 3 of the 4 quarters. I left that game feeling really good about it and feeling really good about the rest of the series. Sean, how about you?
Yeah, as you should. And I don't know if this, this little injury has changed that for you or even
it has,
for many
yes.
other Kings fans. I'm sure it has. Yeah. But I mean, you're right, because you suffer that pretty dramatic third quarter where Golden State comes out and really punches the Kings in the mouth. And it really trickles into the way they closed out the second quarter going into half. And it's just the characteristics of what Golden State shows as this championship caliber team. But then what I think I was most encouraged by in that entire game was the way they responded to open up the fourth. They punch back, start off 7-0 run. De'Aaron Fox is looking incredible. And to be honest, for all the attention that Draymond Green is getting for the switch and putting him on De'Aaron Fox in that fourth quarter, and even in that second half, like Fox still looked like that clutch player. Fox was still doing what he did. And to your point, Ramie, that they were going one-on-one so often that they ended up, and Draymond said, not only in his podcast, but after game 4 and his post-game press availability was like, if they're going 1-4 flat, if they're going ISO, there's no chance he's going to let, the clutch player of the year have an ISO situation. So having Curry, he then traps, and you see how that play kind of plays out there. What I don't think that the Kings wanted, and I think Mike Brown said as much, was Harrison Barnes to actually come over and set the screen.
Mm.
So it still ends up in a play and a great look from HB from beyond the arc. But yeah, I'm with you. I don't think certainly I think people have had their enthusiasm curbed with what's happened with this news of Fox today. But I will say this too, and I'm not the only one to point this out. De'Aaron Fox comes from the agency of Clutch, and the person who broke this news today is Shams Charania, who also comes from the same agency. So I think if anything, it is a legit injury. Let's not take away from there. It is a fractured bone in his left shooting finger, his index finger, and that's going to be important. But certainly, you've got people who've played through it. If he's able to come out there and kind of gut something out, after talking to him yesterday, I mean, the video, he doesn't have any wrapping on it. He doesn't have any brace on it during his post game interview. So, and then plus you're not seeing him, like I mentioned earlier, grab at the finger. So I think there is a lot of encouraging signs in the wake of that. We'll see what happens, 24 hours, 48 hours later. That's why tomorrow is so crucial. But, people I've talked to, there's not many people hanging their head saying that they can't get this done.
Sean, thanks for the time as always. We appreciate you. Hopefully Fox is out there on Wednesday night and just continues what has been a great series between these two teams. We'll talk to you again soon, my friend.
Sure thing. Hope to see you guys out there on Wednesday.
No doubt. There goes Sean Cunningham from Fox 40 on the Folsom Lake Honda hotline. And Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop. We'll continue with more of your reaction about Fox's injury, our thoughts on what Sean just said, and a whole lot more coming up next.
Cattles and Ramie.
Sactown Sports. Sactown Sports wants to congratulate Kings head coach Mike Brown for being the first coach to unanimously win the NBA Coach of the Year award.
100 first place votes, first time ever. Wow. A unanimous decision.
Thank you. Thank you, guys. Thank you, everybody. I'm really appreciative of being in Sacramento. The fans, the city has been fantastic.
How will Coach Brown lead the Kings during the playoffs?
Tune into Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com to find out.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by the Arnold Law Firm.
I'm Mark Finan in the KCRA3 Weather Center. Skies will stay clear tonight with overnight lows in the low 50s. Tomorrow will be sunny and warm with highs in the mid 80s. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA3 News and the KCRA3 app.
The Arnold Law Firm has seen how a collision can turn anyone's life upside down in a heartbeat. So remember to be a little more alert on the road and stay safe. The Arnold Law Firm, providing real justice for you since 1975. Call 916-777-7777.
Hey, basketball fans, the playoffs are here, and Sacramento's ready to win it all. And while you're cheering them on, you're going to want a nice, cool home to watch those games in. That's why you should call Fox Family Heating and Air for all of your air conditioning repair needs. With our amazing technicians and lifetime warranty on most repairs, we'll make sure that your home stays cool and comfortable for the playoffs. So come on, beat the buzzer and call Fox Family Heating and Air today.
Fox Family Heating and Air.
Hey guys, Matt Coker here from West Coast Men's Health to let you know that you don't have to take Viagra for the rest of your life. Acoustic wave therapy has changed the game. Trust me. I've seen guys come in who have completely given up, only to see them back in the game after going through our treatment program.
So call West Coast Men's Health today.
With clinics in Sacramento, San Mateo, Walnut Creek, and Pleasanton, call 916-829-8273. That's 916-829-8273. Online at westcoastmenshealth.com.
Ace fans need Friday night plans? Well, we got you covered. Get 4 tickets and parking for any Friday night game starting at just $49 with the Friday 4-pack presented by Chevrolet. Save big and enjoy great matchups, post-game fireworks and drone shows, giveaways, and more this 2023 season.
He drills one to right, way back, and no doubt, and that quickly the A's have taken the lead. Second deck.
Friday night tickets are available at athletics.com/value. That's athletics.com/value.
Finding great people to hire can be like trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Their powerful matching technology delivers so many qualified candidates. It's like finding a needle in a needle stack. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. For less hay and more needles, head to ZipRecruiter.
And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free. At ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Great team. Where's the defense? Defense! Okay, everyone take a break. Greetings, Sacramento. Doug Christie here for the Good Feet store, asking, when is something too good to be true? When it probably is. And had I not experienced it for myself, this spectacular season would definitely qualify as too good to be true. So everyone out there in radio land, continue to enjoy. Something else that could seem too good to be true is Good Feet Arch Supports. But trust me, I've experienced firsthand the comfort, balance, and support possible with Good Feet Arch Supports. And so have countless others who have pretty much given up hope. It's time you felt good again. Take your feet to the Good Feet store for a free personalized arch support fitting and test walk. Experience for yourself the comfort, balance, and support missing in your life. The Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, Stockton, Modesto, and now Vacaville, online at goodfeet.com.
When you take the time to shop at Folsom Lake Honda, there's one thing you'll always find: happy people ready to serve you. As a family-owned and operated dealership since 2009, customer service is our #1 priority. Our customers love doing business with us, and you will too.
Looking to own or lease? During the spring sales event, drive a brand new Accord or Civic. Visit us today at FolsomLakeHonda.com, your one-stop Honda shop.
Folsom Lake Honda, yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
Selling your home can be stressful. Scott Marsh here to tell you about Bridgehaven Homes. They are a local home buying company that offers homeowners an easier way to sell their home. Let Shane and his team at bridgehavenhomes.com take that stress away. Bridgehaven Homes gives you an all-cash offer for your home, no matter what the condition, within 24 hours. You pick the date you wish to close and sell on your terms. No repairs, no showings, and no realtor commissions. Call 916-299-6040 or bridgehavenhomes.com.
It's Monday, and we all have an opinion on what happened.
Let's get a reaction.
One brings Macloff magic, while the other,
We're still trying to figure that out.
Cattles and Ramie.
Sactown Sports.
All right, so back to your thoughts on this De'Aaron Fox injury. If you're just joining us, if you've been living under a rock, De'Aaron Fox has a fractured tip of the index finger on his shooting hand. He is doubtful for Game 5 on Wednesday night. There are reports, including one from Adrian Wojnarowski, saying the Kings are somewhat hopeful that Fox will be able to play, will play on Wednesday. I said earlier that my guess, and that's all it is at this point, my guess is that Fox will attempt to play on Wednesday. I don't know what's going to happen beyond that. I'm not a doctor. I don't know how Fox is going to feel. There have been a number of people mentioning in the chat today, youtube.com, Sactown Sports 1140. Give us that thumbs up, especially for Baby Yoda. It's a tough day for all of us with this Fox injury news, right? Try to stay hopeful. Give us that thumbs up.
Still smiling.
Trying to get to 75 likes by the end of this hour. So we got 12 minutes to get 14 more likes. Let's see if we could do it. Every like helps us, obviously, an awful lot. More likes, more eyeballs. But many people in the chat bringing up that, it's a physical game. And this series has been physical. And look, if you're the Warriors and Fox is out there playing on Wednesday, you are going to be up in his airspace and you are going to be trying to slap at that basketball.
Yes.
And, maybe I caught a little bit of his index finger.
Domas Sabonis said in one of his I don't know which one. There were many when the Kings won like 8 straight on the All-Star break or whatever it was, and they were America's darlings. But in one of the Domas Sabonis stories, he said, yeah, people were swatting at that thumb and grabbing at it and trying to see if they could affect his game by going after an injury. It's not that's sort of one of the darker sides of sports, but that happens in every sport, man. No matter what, if they see a wounded animal, they're going to try and see if they can capitalize on it.
Yeah, and there's some other people talking about Draymond. Jimmy Ocean's 14th says, let's not forget Draymond poked Keegan in the eye as soon as he started to get rolling. Look, I'm all for going after Draymond about certain things. I don't think he poked Keegan in the eye on purpose yesterday.
No.
Now, maybe I'm wrong. My opinion. I don't think when you're in midair and things are moving that fast, you can slow things down and put your thumb directly in the eye in the middle of the action and poke him perfectly. I don't think Draymond was trying to poke Keegan Murray in the eye. I don't think he was intentionally trying to hurt Keegan. I know his history. Again, I ripped Draymond all last week, and I'm more than happy to rip him again.
You got to be a really good eye poker to pull that one.
Yeah,
off.
I mean,
you got to be like Mo from the Three Stooges.
You got to be pretty quick, man.
Yeah.
You got to be the hand-eye coordination, just reacting.
That'd have been great if Keegan did the old, hand down the middle of the nose. Went, whoop, 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 whoop.
Yeah, I don't think. I don't think that was. I don't think that's a thing. Russell says he's poked tons of players in the eye. Again,
he's probably not careful. I'll go that far. He's probably not that careful in swinging around guys' faces and eyes, but I don't think he planned it out. No.
Yeah, I don't think he was in the middle of it going, now if I could just poke him in the eye. Yeah. Like he's and God, disagree with me all you want. My opinion, whatever, you can disagree with it. I don't think it's as easy as everybody thinks to hit a guy directly in the eye with your thumb as you're jumping up and he's jumping up and things are happening. I don't think it's that easy, but you can believe what you like. Let's go to Jay. Jay wants to talk about De'Aaron Fox, Kings, Warriors. What's up, Jay?
Hey, how you doing, man?
Doing well. How you doing, man?
Good. Thanks for having me. Hey, I just want to talk a little bit. What do you guys, I know Monk is a little head case at times on offense, but I mean, I think offense is going to have to win this game on Wednesday, and I just feel like maybe starting Malink gives us a similar De'Aaron Fox type, if he can't go. Because we love Davion. We know what he brings on defense, but, I mean, I think 12 to 15 is kind of like his kind of match point on offense that we can ask for on a night.
Your thoughts, Ramie? Thanks for the phone call, Jay.
I like Monk coming off the bench. I like what he brings for that unit. You're going to need other guys in that starting lineup. And I've mentioned a couple of them, and probably the two most important ones a couple of times throughout this show if you're without De'Aaron Fox. And that's assuming that Keegan Murray has woken up and you're going to get a decent performance from him in Game 5. But you need much better than what you've gotten all series from Kevin Huerter and Domas Sabonis. Those will be the two most important guys, because I agree with the caller. Your offense is going to have to win this game for you, and you're going to have to find somebody's to fill the void that's left by De'Aaron Fox in this offense. And to me, it comes down to those two guys when we're talking about the starting five.
I think you keep Monk where he is. Yeah. He's been accustomed to the sixth man role. He's played it, and we've talked about he's been up and down. This year he has those moments, he has those games. He's had a game in this series where he was abominable, but he's used to that role. He's comfortable with that role. The team is used to that, sixth man role for him. I don't think it's a stretch to believe that he'll just come off the bench no matter what here. You put Davion in there as a starting point. Again, I think it's going to be up to the other guys, like especially Kevin Huerter, to step up defensively in that backcourt. And we'll see, we'll see if Kevin can do that. But yeah, I think it will be Davion, I would imagine. Again, if we have a situation where Fox isn't playing, which we don't know yet. We don't. I would expect him to play, at least try to play, but we'll see. We'll see what the medical team thinks. And I've said this about pretty much every injury with a player and decisions to play that player. It should not be left to De'Aaron Fox. This should be a medical team conversation. And, you know, if it's a similar deal with Domas where they told Domas, like, look, you know, if you need surgery, you're going to be out 6 to 8 weeks. And Domas was like, yeah, I'm not interested in that. Can I play with this? And they said, yeah, you can play with it as long as it's a pain tolerance thing. If it's a pain tolerance thing, I would anticipate Fox trying to play.
I'm currently searching for De'Aaron Fox prayer candles. I'm not. Not finding anything. If anybody has a link or knows.
You just gave an entrepreneur a great idea.
A brick and mortar location where I could find a De'Aaron Fox prayer candle. Happy to buy it and light it. So we can light the beam.
Didn't work out great for you and Giannis this year.
No,
I missed a couple games.
I didn't light it until this most recent injury, and he's back tonight. So it did work, in fact.
By the way, our guy Jimmy Ocean's 14th mentioning all of the things that Draymond has done in the series: hit Lyles in the face, stomped Domas. He includes poked Keegan's eye. Draymond needs to get humbled. Jimmy, Draymond's not going to get humbled. You can wish for that all you like. Draymond is Draymond. If you've heard anything he said over the past 48 hours.
Every once in a while I'll type out something like this needs to happen, and then by the time I'm done typing the sentence, I realize that's not going to happen, and I just hit backspace until that tweet is gone. You know what I mean?
You don't press tweet.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I don't think we'll see Draymond being humble any point soon. You can keep waiting. You can be waiting a while. We'll continue with your thoughts on Fox, and with Fox banged up, Ramie, it's time for others to step up, especially Domas.
Cattles
and Ramie.
Sactown Sports. Check out the Golf to Go Hour with Frank LaRosa every week on Sactown Sports. Get the latest on equipment, area courses, people who play the great game, and plenty of good conversations about golf. It's the Golf to Go Hour every week with Frank LaRosa on Sactown Sports. Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop, America's most awarded golf facility. Naturewood Home Furnishings, where it's all about choices and always about quality.
I'm Scott Trout, attorney and CEO of the domestic litigation firm Cordell & Cordell. We help men deal with the life changes triggered by divorce, such as child custody and property division, among many others. But life changes also occur after divorce. These changes can make parts of your existing court order irrelevant or harder to follow. If you feel a modification to your court orders might be necessary, talk to us at Cordell & Cordell. We're a partner men can count on.
500 Capitol Mall, Suite 2060, Sacramento, California, 95814. Cordell.
I'm Ken Korak with your Green and Gold Report, brought to you by Xfinity 10G, the next generation network. Well, the A's are hoping that outfielder Brent Rooker is a classic late bloomer. After a storied career at Mississippi State, the Twins made him a high pick back in 2017. But now the A's are his fourth organization. But at the age of 28, he's making the most of playing every day. Through the games of April 17th, he was batting .324 with 4 homers and 11 RBIs.
You can't host movie night on your phone's hotspot. It's time for real home internet on the Xfinity 10G network. The future starts now. New customers can get 200 megabit Xfinity internet for just $25 a month for 2 years during our Xfinity 10G network launch celebration, now through April 23rd. Go to Xfinity.com/10G, call 1-800-XFINITY, or visit a store today. Requires paperless billing and auto pay with stored bank account. Restrictions apply. Taxes and fees extra. After promo, regular rates apply to internet service and devices. Actual speeds vary.
There's really nothing better than hitting the open road in a new Honda. And at Northern California's #1 Honda dealer, Stockton Honda, we are proud to provide our best selection to get you there. Buying from Stockton Honda couldn't be smoother. Wherever the road you travel might lead, Stockton Honda is happy to get you there.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
#1 claim based on 2022 total new and Honda certified pre-owned vehicle car sales from American Honda Motor Company's own loan report.
Yeah, I'm so stressed. Our business is growing. We've got people all over now. Uma. What is that? Meditation?
I'm recommending the Uma cloud phone system with auto attendant and more than 50 features.
Uma?
Yep. Switching to Uma is a cinch. Just $24.95 per month per user, plus taxes and fees.
Ooh.
Ooma. Now you're feeling it. Find small business calm at ooma.com/radio. That's OOMA.com/radio.
In business, everything your employees do impacts your brand, including what they wear. Cintas has high-performance workplace apparel for almost every job imaginable. From work shirts and pants, to polos and khakis, to Oxfords or T-shirts, these clothes move, breathe, and look great. Your team gets the styles they like, you convey the image you want. And Cintas service includes weekly laundry and delivery. To learn more, visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
Guys, did you know your testosterone affects everything in your system, including how you feel and perform every day? Right now, Revive Men's Health Sacramento will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T levels is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Most men start to see changes in their hormone levels in their 30s. Experience and results matter. So what are you waiting for? Get your T levels checked today by local, experienced, and trusted men's health experts. They've helped thousands of men since 2011. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Call Revive today and schedule your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation. Call Revive Men's Health at 916-277-8599. That's 916-277-8599. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
KH2KAM HD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento, the flagship station of your Sacramento Kings.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
This is Sactown Sports. Sactown Sports.
Headlines.
With your Sactown Sports headlines, I'm Simone Rickford. The Sacramento Kings couldn't find the dagger in the final seconds of Game 4 for the Battle of NorCal in the 126-125 loss yesterday, and now only eclipsed by a deeply concerning report regarding De'Aaron Fox. Charania of The Athletic reported earlier this afternoon that Fox has suffered a fractured index finger in his left shooting hand. Fox is expected to be listed as doubtful to play in Game 5 versus the Warriors. The Kings All-Star guard is believed to have sustained the injury midway through the fourth quarter of Game 4 and played through it. Fox had 38 points, 9 boards, and 5 assists on Sunday. Check out our latest findings on this impactful development only on SactownSports.com. And finally, breaking news out of the NFL as Packers and Jets have agreed to a mega trade sending 4-time MVP Aaron Rodgers to New York. And without further ado, let's get into it.
Let's get it.
I'm Simone. Those are your Sactown Sports headlines. Let's talk vocal on the local right now on Cattles and Ramie.
From the headlines to the sidelines, it's the Kings, the 49ers, the Raiders, the Republic.
Vocal on the local.
All right, if you're just joining us, welcome into the third hour. Cattles and Ramie, Sactown Sports with you. De'Aaron Fox, that's the biggest news of the day, has a fractured tip of the index finger on his shooting hand, his left hand. And as of right now, no one really knows if Fox is going to play. There are reports, one including Adrian Wojnarowski's report earlier today, saying that there is some hope that Fox will play. I'm of the mind that he will at least try to play. I think Fox will go out there. He'll attempt to play. I don't know how effective he'll be. I don't know how much it's going to impact his ball handling. It's his shooting hand. He's not particularly a great shooter from distance already, as we know. I don't know if this means he'll completely scrap shooting the three if he plays. I don't know how, impactful he'll be defensively. I don't know how aggressive he'll be defensively. I don't know how comfortable he'll be slapping down at the basketball and trying to defend and do things like that. I don't know how aggressive he'll be trying to get rebound. I mean, there's all these little things about playing with an injury like this, and we just won't know how it will affect him until when he's out there. So the hope is he'll play. If he plays and he gives you 75%, you take it. 75% Fox, you can still win this series if other guys step up. But we just don't know. If Fox doesn't play the rest of this series, I think you're done.
I hope all the gloom and doom today is completely moot on Wednesday night when that game is played. You know what I mean? I hope that the injury is as minimal as a fracture to the index finger on your shooting hand can be, and the impact of it is as minimal as it can be. I hope that the Kings are either exaggerating or, as I've seen some people hypothesize on Twitter today, just flat out making this thing up, a little gamesmanship over the course of a playoff series to give the Warriors something to wonder about as far as how much or what version of De'Aaron Fox they might see, if they see any version of him at all. I hope all this is moot. I hope everything and Nick and I being negative Nancy's or Debbie Downers or whatever you think we are today. I hope that we look really stupid on Wednesday and this doesn't matter. You know what I mean? And De'Aaron Fox is just out there doing De'Aaron Fox things. I don't think they'd list him as doubtful, Nick, unless it was either gamesmanship, the aforementioned gamesmanship, or unless it was a more serious type of fracture than it could have been, and it's either risking his availability or just compromising his ability.
Look, I think a number of things here that you just mentioned. Got to unpack all of it.
But
first of all, I think, the idea of knowing, I said this earlier, and this is something that Alex Levko brings up in the YouTube chat. Why would they announce if he's going to play or not? I agree. As I said last hour, I don't think, Alex, that we should anticipate any kind of announcement. I don't think the Kings will say anything about this injury. They will say the least amount that they can get away with the league. And that's the way they should approach this, by the way. If I'm the Kings, I'm not saying a word. Hey, you figure out if he's going to play or not. So I think that's the approach you go with, and you keep the Warriors as much in the dark as you can. So I don't think we'll hear any kind of announcement. As far as being negative, I don't think it's being negative. And I think it's being realistic. And I understand that Kings fans are very emotional. I get it. You should be emotional. I was emotional when I saw this news. I was angry. But here's the thing. All I'm saying is to me, pretty logical and common sense filled. If you are a team and you lose your top superstar in a playoff series, you are less likely to win that series than if you had that player. Again, that's the premise of if Fox doesn't play. I think he's going to play on Wednesday. So I don't think that's being pessimistic or negative. It's being real. If Steph Curry woke up tomorrow and couldn't play the rest of the series, I'd be saying the same stuff about the Warriors.
We'd be etching their gravestone.
I say it's done.
Yeah.
Right? So, and I know somebody on Twitter told me that, I hate Sacramento. You hate Sacramento. I've listened to you a couple times. I just can't take it. I don't know why you hate Sacramento. Yeah. I moved my family 3,000 miles across the country to hate Sacramento. That's exactly the whole plan. That was my whole plan from the beginning. Damn, you got me.
Sinister, Nick Cattle. Sinister of you to move your whole across the country.
Evil.
Just to hate.
I got you.
Just to hate.
It's a perfect moment, right?
Hater of the year, right?
I've watched all of these Kings games since I've been here, just to hate them.
Shoe-in for hate of the year.
Yeah, that's the number one goal of mine.
That would make you a shoe-in.
Just to hate you, just to hate the city and hate your team and hate everything. And it was a weird reaction because all I tweeted was what I said earlier on the show, and I have no problem repeating it. If you spent all year long telling me how great De'Aaron Fox is, and he's been great. He's been an all-NBA guard. If you've spent the whole year going bananas about how great of a season he's had and how clutch he's been, then you can't today be like, oh, well, if Fox doesn't play, no big deal. It doesn't work that way. What you said during the regular season, you erase all of it if you approach this like, oh, well, they can win without Fox. I wasn't getting any phone calls during the year being like, hey, you know what? This team will still win 48 games without De'Aaron Fox.
No, we never heard that.
And as a matter of fact, I talked about this before this series. Steph Curry missed 26 games and the Warriors still won 44 games. But everybody wanted to react like that wasn't a big deal. Like, when you lose your best player, it's a big deal. So if they lose Fox, yes, it's a big deal. This is obvious. It's
Why
not.
do we have to state the obvious.
It's because, I
know.
I feel like.
No, why do we have to? I'm not saying why are you. I'm asking why do we have to?
To me, it's obvious that when you lose a superstar, the best clutch player in the league, if you lose him, if he doesn't play, yeah, that's a rather significant deal, people. It sucks. I hate it. You hate it. We can all hate it together. But, even though that guy thinks I hate Sacramento, I do not hate Sacramento.
I don't know why you hate Sacramento.
Real hating, man. That's like an art form.
Meanwhile, with Fox banged up, even if he does play Wednesday, the Kings are going to need Domas to step up, man. And yesterday I was so excited. I tweeted about this. For that quick moment, I loved Sacramento, apparently. I tweeted about how Domas was aggressive and Keegan was aggressive, and it was great to see that it was a super solid first half.
Yeah, throw him off your trail every once in a while.
Yeah, that's right. You got to keep him off the scent.
Exactly.
But, if you're watching Domas in that first half, especially early, I was like, yes, everything we talked about, right?
Yep.
Deeper paint touches. Yep. He was aggressive. He was decisive. He was looking for his own. They had screens called for him, inverse screens that try to get him to his left hand. And I was like, this is awesome. Now, he had a first half of 8, 4, and 6. I'm like, he got outside shot of having a triple-double. He could score 20 in this game, at least, if he keeps doing what he was doing, right? And then all of a sudden, the second half, he went back into a shell. He went back into a shell for some reason. I don't know why. He only took 2 shots in the third quarter. Like, what are we doing? He had 1 shot for the first 8 minutes of the third quarter.
And the thing that's most confusing about it to me, Nick, and I'm not the greatest basketball X's and O's guys. I'll admit that right off the bat. Football, baseball, I'm much better. But to me, in the third quarter was when they moved Draymond Green onto De'Aaron Fox. To me, just the common sense says to me that should open things up for Domas, right? If Draymond Green's attention isn't on Domas and is on De'Aaron Fox instead, if anything, there should be more there for Domas in the second half. And I know Looney's done a good job on Domas throughout the series, and that's a guy with a lot of experience of trying to slow down big men in this league during his time with the Warriors. But that seemed like the window opening for Domas to really make even more of an impact on this game in the second half than what he even had in the first half. And he just disappeared completely while De'Aaron Fox was carrying the load of both Steph Curry and Draymond Green, chasing him around the court for an entire half.
I don't get it. The fact that, in the second half, Domas had 6 points, 3 rebounds, and 2 assists. Can't happen. Not from an all-star, not from an all-NBA guy, not for a guy who's been so damn productive and consistent all year long. You can't have a half of basketball where you go 6, 3, and 2 if you're DeMontis. It can't happen. And that's with a healthy Fox. If Fox plays on Wednesday night, and let's say he's 75%, it's even more crucial for Domas to step up. And one of the things that's been bugging me now for a couple of weeks, especially in this series, is that he's also missed a ton of bunnies.
Yes.
Over and over and over again. Tim Maxwell tweeted this out earlier today. Sabonis, he's 9 for 20 on layups against the Warriors. It's 45%. In the regular season, he made 67% of his layups. 67% in the regular season, 45%.
Can't have that.
In this series. If you're missing all of these cookies at the rim. And I'm not talking about when Looney makes a great play or makes a block. He's just missed some bunnies.
Yeah.
He's missing in the restricted area. And, the importance, we always talk about the importance of Fox, and it's deserved. But the importance of Domas, too. Brendan Nunez, before this series began, he tweeted that the offensive rating for the Kings with Sabonis was 120.7. Without Sabonis, 111.5. And so when he's not playing well, your offense is not nearly what it could be or should be. He has to step up and be consistent. He's got to be game 2 Domas. I mean, he's averaging 16 points, 4 assists. He's got 4.5 assists a game. He's got almost 4 turnovers per game. His shooting is plummeted. His field goal percentage in the regular season was over 61%.
I had a thought watching that second half yesterday that Kings fans are not going to like, but we've already done enough things that Kings fans don't like today, right? I was like, he's having a Karl Anthony Towns series, which is not the name you want to hear when we're talking about Domas and performance in the playoffs. He's having at one point, he had more turnovers than points in this series. And he made up for that in game 3, but you just can't have that, man. You can't have one of your best players and a guy who you're putting so much on to just disappear in a playoff series. You with or without De'Aaron Fox.
Yeah.
You were going to need a better version of Domas probably to get out of this series And if you somehow squeaked out of this series without Domas ever showing up, regular season Domas ever showing up, they weren't going very far beyond round one. If that dude doesn't turn it around, even with a healthy De'Aaron Fox, they need him to be better.
Yeah, I mean, Domas regular season shot 61.5% from the field. He's shooting 48% from the field in this series. He's got to be better, man. He's got to be better, especially now with the Fox injury. Even if Foxy plays, you need more from Domas. You just need more from him. Simple as that. He's got to be aggressive. He's got to be decisive, and the coaches can get him going too. Like, get more touches in the paint for him. Like, every time we've asked a coach this year about Domas and the offense, they're like, well, you know, he plays the role of facility. You might have to change the script a little bit here. All right, we'll continue with your thoughts on Foxy's injury. Warriors, Kings series, of course, tied at 2, getting ready for Game 5 on Wednesday night. Aside from that reaction, we'll also take a look at 12 minutes the Kings want back from yesterday.
Cattles and Ramie.
Sactown Sports. Sactown Sports wants to congratulate Kings head coach Mike Brown for being the first coach to unanimously win the NBA Coach of the Year award.
100 first-place votes, first time ever. Wow. A unanimous decision.
Thank you guys. Thank you, everybody. I'm really appreciative of being in Sacramento. The fans, the city has been fantastic.
How will Coach Brown lead the Kings during the playoffs?
Tune in to Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com to find out.
When you take the time to shop at Folsom Lake Honda, there's one thing you'll always find. Happy people ready to serve you. As a family-owned and operated dealership since 2009, customer service is our #1 priority. Our customers love doing business with us, and you will too.
Looking to own or lease? During the spring sales event, drive a brand new Accord or Civic. Visit us today at FolsomLakeHonda.com, your one-stop Honda shop.
Folsom Lake Honda, yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
I'm Craig Ashton of the injury law firm of Ashton & Price. Whether you've been injured on a bicycle, as a pedestrian in a slip and fall, auto, Uber, Lyft, or big rig accident, you need Ashton & Price in your corner. When you call Ashton & Price, there's no chatbot telling you to hit 3 for a cab. You're greeted by a real-life person who will immediately transfer you to an experienced attorney. The consultation's free, and there's never a fee until you win.
Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton & Price.
With you 1 mile at a time during the afternoon drive. Cattles and Ramie.
Sactown Sports.
Manny too legit. Domas needs to be a lot better. Yes, he does. You're counting on him, especially now. YouTube.com, Sactown Sports 1140. We got 76 likes. Can we get to 100 by the end of this hour? It would be very much appreciated if we get to 100 likes before the end of the 4 o'clock hour with all of you talking about this De'Aaron Fox injury. Boy, 415 SF. Everything doesn't need to go right if everything goes wrong for the Warriors, LOL. Yeah, I mean, if the Warriors come out and play like crap, look, here's some positivity and some optimism for you. The Warriors did lose on the road a lot this year, and they lost to a lot of bad teams.
Mike check.
It is not impossible to believe that the Warriors come out on Wednesday night and lay an egg on the road. Now, I think it'll be much more difficult in the playoffs. I don't think they've necessarily laid an egg in this series. They lost the first 2 games at the G1C, but let's not forget, Andrew Wiggins had a wide open 3 in the corner that could have made that a whole different story after game 1 that he missed, much like Harrison Barnes has missed 3. I mean, this series has been so tight. It's even mirroring each other, right? Like Wiggins missed the open 3 in game 1, and Barnes missed the open 3 yesterday. So tit for tat, you're pretty much even there.
Right.
But the idea of the Warriors coming out on Wednesday and not playing well would not be an insane idea. We've seen it. We've seen them lose to a lot of bad teams. They lost to the Pistons on the road. They lost to a bunch of bad teams on the road.
And I mean, they've been Jekyll and Hyde all year, Nick, when you look at what they've done at home versus on the road. But just from what I've seen these last couple games, I think you're going to need the best or close to the best game you got to beat this Warriors team. They seem to have woken up and locked in and are in playoff mode now.
Well, I mean, let's also not forget, they've got Wiggins back, and Wiggins has been a big X factor in this series. Not many people are talking about the guy, but he's been a big, big X factor in this series. He had, 4 blocks yesterday?
Yeah.
Dude does everything for them. So they've got Wiggins back, and I don't know how many of those bad losses on the road they had, with Curry on the court. Let's not forget, again, Steph missed 26 games this year. That's more than a quarter of the season. So, the road record, I don't know that information. I'd have to look through the entire schedule and go game by game and see how many of those that Steph missed. But I'd have to imagine that some of those road losses happened when Wiggins and or Curry weren't playing for you.
Right.
A lot of them without Wiggins, because Wiggins missed 50 some odd games.
But what we've learned today is not having your best player. No big deal, Nick. Haven't you been paying attention?
Well, you just hate Sacramento.
No, you hate Sacramento.
No, you do.
No.
But you agree with me, which means you also hate Sacramento.
Don't put me in the same boat. All right. I wasn't accused of hating Sacramento. You were.
So it's not crazy, though. Brian Jones, unfortunately, if Fox is out, it's a wrap. I don't write the book. I just read it. Yeah, I mean, again, I think if Fox is out of this series, I think the Warriors win the series. I picked the Warriors to win the series with Fox. So obviously, I feel like the Warriors will win the series without Fox playing. But I think, the chances of you winning the series go up exponentially if Fox looks at least 75% out there on Wednesday. If he can give you 75% and you've got home court advantage, you got to win 2 out of the last 3. You've got, if Herter can step up, Keegan played well yesterday, obviously. It's going to take everybody, but it starts with Fox being able to get out there. Manny Too Legit, this Fox injury got us feeling all types of ways. I just hope he'll play through it. Just has to go through stuff like this to be able to get these 2 wins. One thing I'm not going to do, I don't pass judgment on any player being unable to play because of an injury. I don't like that.
We're not going to call De'Aaron Fox soft on Thursday if he doesn't play one.
That is not going to happen on this show.
Damn.
Well, I won't. If you want to say it, you can say it.
I'll go ahead and take that out of
my
mouth.
I've never been the guy that comes onto the radio and starts calling players soft and this and that for missing games due to injury, especially if those are postseason games. Because I can guarantee you, if anybody on God's green earth wants to play on Wednesday night, it's De'Aaron Fox. There's absolutely nothing that we've seen from this guy through the first 4 games that would tell you he'd sit out because he's got a bit of an ouchie.
That dude's going to have to be tied to a chair to not play on Wednesday.
Yes. That's why I would expect him to play. But again, if he doesn't play, I'm not going to sit there and say, oh, it's because he's weak or he's soft. The medical team has to weigh in. And if his finger is like twice the size as it is regularly, or he can't handle the ball, what I don't want De'Aaron Fox to do is, look, if you want to try to play and you go out there for the first few minutes, okay, good. But if you don't have it, if you can't dribble, if you can't, play downhill like you usually do because guys are slapping at the basketball, if it makes you even more ineffective from 3, like, I don't want you to be a hero, right? I don't want you to try to play the hero. If you can't play effectively, then don't play. I'd rather have a 100% Davion Mitchell than a 40% De'Aaron Fox. Like, at some point, you've got to say, I'm going to put the cape away for the night. But going out there and trying to play, I'm all for it. If he feels comfortable and, the medical team feels comfortable. Meanwhile, just a quick note about yesterday's game because, there's so much to take away from it. But I thought the third quarter just killed you. The final 4 minutes were a mess. And you started the fourth quarter down by 10 because of it. Everything that you saw in the first half
disappeared
in that third quarter. Like, all of a sudden, you were minus 12 in the paint in the quarter. I thought the Kings did a great job on the glass in the first half. They were minus 7 in the third quarter on the glass. Minus 7. How many drives did we see? We saw so many drives to the bucket, so many open lanes in the third quarter. And the Kings were plus 6 with Curry sitting out in the first half. That was even in the third quarter. We've talked about that. When Curry's not playing, you've got to take advantage. You can't end a quarter even with Curry off the floor. Gave up 37 points in the third quarter. And this kind of stands to reason, Ramie. We talked about it during the regular season, like, well, their fourth quarter defense is great, right? And I have said before, yes, the fourth quarter defense is really good. But that doesn't mean you can win all of these games if you just lock it up in the fourth quarter. And yesterday was proof of that. Mic check. They only gave up.
Cleared my throat.
It's okay.
Actually, what happened was I saw Kendrick Perkins' finger on my computer screen and gasped.
Yes.
Turned my mic off to gasp.
Not a good looking finger on that guy.
How does it even work? I see him like flexing it. He's doing this with it. Doesn't even look. It looks like an animatronic thing from a movie. That's not even a real hand. You know what I mean? It's why would you do that on TV? Sorry.
To show how tough you are. Yeah, but they only gave up 24 points in the fourth quarter, and they ended up losing. So the idea of like, oh, well, if you just D up in the fourth quarter, all will be well. No, not necessarily.
But silver lining out of that one, Nick, one of the silver linings I was going to come to the table with today before the De'Aaron Fox injury was everybody's making a big deal out of, oh, they put Draymond on De'Aaron Fox in the second half, and it worked, and they shut him down. It worked for a quarter. You know what I mean? It seemed like De'Aaron Fox and the Kings were starting to figure out how to neutralize that too in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So how long would that be effective for if De'Aaron Fox has 10 fingers that work?
It was a great game yesterday.
It was amazing.
It stunk that you lost. It was heartbreaking the way you lost. You had a chance with a good look, and HB just missed it. But it was a great game. It was a back and forth great game. And again, if you take out the 12 minutes, which you can't do, but that third quarter is what killed you. You played fine in the first, second, and fourth. You win that game if the third quarter is not a nightmare. You gave up 37 in the third. You got beat on the glass over and over and over again. You got beat in the paint. So, fix those things in the third, and you win the game.
Yep.
And you're up 3-1. So that's good. Now let's just hope Fox is healthy enough to get out there and produce. Hopefully. Fingers crossed. So
didn't that feel good? I took a deep breath earlier in the show.
Yeah.
It really helped.
All right, we'll continue with your thoughts on Fox, Kings, Warriors. We also got to get to Aaron Rodgers. He's no longer a Green Bay Packer. Get to it next.
Cattles and Ramie.
Sactown Sports. Catch the Oakland A's every weekend on Sactown Sports. Friday nights, Saturdays, and Sundays.
Sinking, that's going to get down for a hit. Around third to score is Cunningham. And the A's have taken the lead. Edge of the track makes the catch. And the Athletics get a great win.
Sactown Sports, your weekend home for the Oakland A's.
Sactown Sports coverage of the Oakland A's is brought to you by Xfinity 10G, the next generation network.
Power Business Technology is proud to be 100% independent, locally owned, and managed Toshiba copier dealer. Local ownership cuts out the red tape, allowing ourselves to never be too busy to personally answer the call when our clients need us. Recognized for excellence in service execution, training, and customer service, we're proud to be named a 2022 Toshiba ProMasters Elite Dealer. Contact us today for all of your business printing needs at 844-POWER-BZ. That's 844-769-3729, or visit us at PowerCopier.com.
Depression, anxiety, and trauma can happen to anyone. You aren't alone. 1 in 5 of us will have a mental health issue in our lifetime. And just like other illnesses, people who get support and treatment find healing and hope. Check in with someone you're worried about. And if you're feeling pain, ask for help. There's no shame in taking care of yourself or the people you care about. Be there for someone who's hurting, even if that someone is you. Learn more at StopStigmaSacramento.org.
Hey, basketball fans, the playoffs are here, and Sacramento's ready to win it all. And while you're cheering them on, you're going to want a nice, cool home to watch those games in. That's why you should call Fox Family Heating and Air for all of your air conditioning repair needs. With our amazing technicians and lifetime warranty on most repairs, we'll make sure that your home stays cool and comfortable for the playoffs. So come on, beat the buzzer and call Fox Family Heating and Air today.
Fox Family Heating and Air.
The folks at M&S Auto know that inflation is tough on everybody. If you need an excellent, gently used car or truck, M&S has hundreds of vehicles on the lot on El Camino, just off the Cap City Freeway. M&S customers get great deals and they save thousands. Get a great deal now on super clean 4x4s, including Tacomas, Silverados, and Jeeps, and muscle cars, Challengers, Teslas, Mustangs, and even the occasional McLaren. M&S Auto, msautogroup.com.
Great team, great team. Where's the defense? Defense! Okay, everyone take a break. Greetings, Sacramento. Doug Christie here for the Good Feet store, asking, when is something too good to be true? when it probably is. And had I not experienced it for myself, this spectacular season would definitely qualify as too good to be true. So everyone out there in radio land, continue to enjoy. Something else that could seem too good to be true is Good Feet Arch Supports. But trust me, I've experienced firsthand the comfort, balance, and support possible with Good Feet Arch Supports. And so have countless others who have pretty much given up hope. It's time you felt good again. Take your feet to the Good Feet store for a free personalized arch support fitting and test walk. Experience for yourself the comfort, balance, and support missing in your life. The Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, Stockton, Modesto, and now Vacaville, online at goodfeet.com.
Sactown Sports
Headlines.
With your Sactown Sports headlines, I'm Simone Rickford. The Sacramento Kings couldn't find the dagger in the final seconds of Game 4 for the Battle of NorCal in the 126-125 loss yesterday, and now only eclipsed by a deeply concerning report regarding De'Aaron Fox. Charania of The Athletic reported earlier this afternoon that Fox has suffered a fractured index finger in his left shooting hand. Fox is expected to be listed as doubtful to play in Game 5 versus the Warriors. The Kings All-Star guard is believed to have sustained the injury midway through the fourth quarter of Game 4 and played through it. Fox had 38 points, 9 boards, and 5 assists on Sunday. Check out our latest findings on this impactful development only on SactownSports.com. And finally, breaking news out of the NFL as Packers and Jets have agreed to a mega trade sending 4-time MVP Aaron Rodgers to New York. And without further ado, let's get into it.
Let's get it.
I'm Simone. Those are your Sactown Sports headlines. It's 4:30. Miami hosting Milwaukee is just getting underway. Don't go anywhere. Here's Cattles and Ramie.
Your afternoon home for Kings talk and more.
This is Cattles and Ramie
on Sactown Sports.
From the YouTube chat, I'm a huge Warriors fan. This is Paul Smith. Can't believe you guys are complaining. If Monk gets hot and Herter shows up, Kings can win at home.
Sure. Complaining? I would call it lamenting more than complaining. Right? Those are two different things.
I honestly am entertained at the idea of people thinking we're negative or we hate the city of Sacramento or whatever has been said from the few. It hasn't been, it's only been a few. Because we're saying that if a team loses its best player in a playoff series, that team is unlikely to win the series. That's funny to me. Listen, take the Kings and De'Aaron Fox. Take the names out of the situation. Just erase it. Take your own emotions out of it. See, it's my job to remove emotions from stuff when we break things down.
Does that include your hate of Sacramento? Is that one of the emotions?
Real hate, man. That's like an art form.
Yes. Again,
you have to set aside.
Moved 3,000 miles across the country so I can just hate on the team and the city. That was the plan. Kelly was all for it. She was like, sure, let's just go pack up everything. Take the dog. Let's go hate.
Devious.
Hate. But take the emotion out of it just for a split second and think about any other team. If you're talking about any other team in the NBA, okay, that you don't personally root for, that you haven't grown up and loved and all of that. I get it. I truly get it. But any team in the league, they lose their best player. Guess what? It's unlikely they win a series.
Dude, if they got the Timberwolves in the first round, I'd be sitting here going, oh, no problem. They're still going to win this series. You know what I mean?
T-Wolves tough matchup.
Or the game that, as you heard Simone say, is about to tip off right now. I saw Bucks and Heat, and even though the Bucks are down 2-1 in that series, Giannis is coming back today. But if they didn't have Giannis, I can still see the Bucks winning that series because the Heat are not a great team. They're a good team. Timberwolves are a good team.
Look, you're not helping, Ramie. You're picking out the anomalies.
No, but we're talking about a dynasty here with the Warriors. We're talking about one of the greatest players to ever step on a court in Steph Curry. One of the greatest trios of Curry, Clay, and Draymond Green. Like, this isn't some chump standing in the other corner.
Let's just, instead of going through a specific example, let's just put it this way. You have two teams that are very close as far as talent level, skill level, whatever. This series is nip and tuck, folks. This series, Obviously, game 1, Wiggins misses a 3. Game 4, Barnes misses a 3. You're even. It's 2-2. Each home team has won both home games, right? Series is tight. If you have any two teams that are competing like this and you take out the best player of one of those teams, again, this is if Fox misses the game, which I'm not thinking he's going to. I think he's going to at least try to play. To me, it's pretty, common sense that if you take out the team's best player, then it's going to impact their ability or the likelihood of them winning the series. So
Yes.
it's not any emotion of hate. It's just looking at it plain for what it is. Objectively looking at a situation. If it was Steph and not De'Aaron Fox, I guarantee you and Ramie and I would be sitting here going, yeah, this is great for the Kings.
He's setting off streamers.
If they lose this series, it's a huge disappointment now. They should win this series.
Yeah.
All right, we'll get back to Fox, Kings, Warriors, but we have to talk about Aaron Rodgers. We were supposed to talk about him earlier. We didn't get to it, so let's get to it now, Ramie. We've been waiting for I don't know how long, really a couple of years now, for Rodgers to be traded from Green Bay. It finally happened today, and yes, Rodgers goes to the Jets. The Jets get Aaron Rodgers. They swap first-round picks with the Packers this year, so the Jets get pick 15. The Packers get pick 13. So they swap the first this year. The Jets also get a 2023 fifth-round pick, which doesn't really matter. The Packers get that swap of the pick. They also get a second-round pick this year, and they get a conditional second-round pick next year that becomes a first if Rodgers plays 65% of the plays. That, to me, is the biggest nugget of this deal. Is the fact that the Jets, to me, 65% is way too low of a threshold. You are
also,
unless Rodgers gets hurt, you're giving up a first next year.
Also, that to me would be not contingent on how many games he plays next year. We know he's going to play next year. Like, this trade wouldn't be going down if Aaron Rodgers had announced his retirement. The clause would be if he doesn't retire before the 2024 NFL draft, that second round pick becomes a first round pick. You know what I mean? Like, because that's the question, is how long is Aaron Rodgers in this thing for? Is it 1 year? Is it 2 years? And if I'm the Jets and Aaron Rodgers hangs it up next offseason and that second round pick next year turns into a first round pick going to the Packers, you just completely screwed yourself. You've gotten fleeced beyond all belief. That's a wild clause to throw in there and not have any stipulation about retirement in that deal anywhere.
I mean, look, you're sitting there saying to yourself, if Rodgers plays 65% of the plays this year, you're giving up a first. That, to me, like, the fact that Rodgers came out and said, I am going to, my intention is to play for the Jets. My intention is to play for the Jets. I felt like the Jets had a little bit more leverage here.
Yeah.
Where they wouldn't have to, like, I get the condition, but how about like 80%, 85% of the plays, 90% of the plays, 65% of the plays? The guy can miss, 35% of the season? And you would still have to give up that first round pick?
He could miss 4 games of the 17.
Imagine if Rodgers misses 4 games. If he misses 34% of the season, 30% of the season. If he misses 3 games and you don't get the ultimate, right? You don't go, maybe you missed the playoffs because instead of being maybe 11-6 or 12-5, you end up being like 9-8 because Rodgers got hurt. Imagine if you're sitting there at like 9-8 and you don't have a first round pick and now Rodgers is 40 years old. I don't know, man. It seems to me like the Jets gave up an awful lot. It similar to what I said with the Run CMC trade with the Niners. Like, if you win it all, then you have no beef with that trade. Like, you have to win it all. Like, the Jets have to win this is like Super Bowl or bust.
Yep.
And if it doesn't happen, eesh. So there you go. Aaron Rodgers is a Jet. Let's go to Roger. Wants to talk about the Kings, Warriors, and De'Aaron Fox. Hey, Roger.
Yes, first of all, I'm an alumni from Grant High School and Boise State University. So those two are winning traditions. And as I listen to the commentary about what the Kings need to do and all that, it all comes down to performing under pressure. And that's what's going to happen now. I mean, the Kings, the Warriors won without Draymond, and they won with him. That's what has to happen. They've been talking about Domas a lot, but there's a lot of people that need to pick it up. This is not golf. This is a team sport. And I'm telling you, no matter what happens with Fox, you still have the coach of the year, and they're going to have to come together, or else you're still dealing with the Warriors, who are the reigning champions.
All right, Roger, let me jump in. Appreciate the phone call. Appreciate you listening. Talent wins games in the NBA.
Yeah.
You can be a great coach. Talent wins.
In every sport.
Especially in the NBA. Like, look at all the NBA champions. Usually you win a championship because you have a top 5 player on your team. Usually. There's been a few anomalies here and there, but that's usually the case. Okay. So as great as Coach Brown is, Coach Brown cannot turn Davion Mitchell into De'Aaron Fox. Okay. He doesn't have a magic wand. He's been great, but he doesn't have a magic wand. Secondly, I'm not having the whole, the Warriors won without Draymond Green. Draymond Green is not De'Aaron Fox. Can we stop making Draymond Green out better than he is? Okay. He's good. He's good. He's a pretty big piece for the team.
He single-handedly won that game yesterday, from what I've read.
But Draymond Green is not De'Aaron Fox, and De'Aaron Fox ain't Draymond Green. De'Aaron Fox is much more crucial to the operation. Okay.
Most selfless player ever to decide to come off, to say he'll come off the bench.
Yeah.
Man, what a guy.
Yeah, we might get into that a little bit tomorrow. This praise of Draymond Green, how he
that turned quick.
How
man.
he
that turned real quick.
He single-handedly turned this season around for the Warriors. If you read and listen to some people, Draymond Green, who knew stomping a guy's chest was going to.
Well, I didn't know that fixed stuff.
Imagine if Harrison Barnes hit that shot. How many of those stories would we see today about how Draymond Green saved the season?
Nothing. Nothing.
What if the Kings didn't turn the ball over 3 or 4 times in the last 4 minutes?
If the Kings win this series, people will revisit this and be like, Draymond cost his team the series because he wasn't there for Game 3. And it'll be the same people who today are like, he's such a team player.
The Draymond stuff is so outrageous. It's so out of pocket. It really is. I'm tired of it. All right, we got a lot more to get to. We'll continue with your reaction, Kings, Warriors, also your reaction to this De'Aaron Fox injury, and we'll take a quick spin around the Western Conference as well.
Cattles
and Ramie.
Sactown Sports. Sactown Sports is Sacramento's new home for the San Francisco 49ers.
It feels awesome. We deserve this. Let's go, Niners!
Purdy
going to throw, and it is Kittle in the back of the end zone.
Samuel.
Debo 10. Debo. Touchdown!
And McCaffrey.
Touchdown! CMC!
They all live here on Sactown Sports.
Your official home for 49ers football.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave. Spring officially here. And with the long, cold, and rainy winter behind us, I'm sure you're counting the days until summer. But don't wait until it's hot to make sure your air conditioner is working efficiently and, most importantly, safely. Get ahead of the problem with a $49 AC tune-up from American Energy Heat and Air. There's nothing worse than your air conditioner going out when it's hot outside. Get a tune-up today and make sure you and your family are comfortable and cool in your home for the hot summer months that are right around the corner. Give them a call, 916-520-9990, or schedule your appointment online at AmericanEnergyAir.com. Better Business Bureau, A+ rating. Serving the greater Sacramento area since 1981. Easy, convenient payment options, same as cash, low monthly payments through financing partners. What do you need? 916-520-9990 or AmericanEnergyAir.com.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
When you're ready to get properly fitted for golf clubs, join the thousands of Northern California golfers who visited the indoor-outdoor Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio. Players of all abilities found the Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio offers answers to questions about golf club fitting. You'll find a professional staff of fitters, major equipment brands, and cutting-edge technology featuring TrackMan. See for yourself at the Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio, Fulton Avenue at the Cap City Freeway. Call 916-808-2531 to schedule your fitting. 808-2531 for longer, straighter drives.
At aimyourdigital.com, we'll help you target the right audience, build your leads, and crush your quota. Take your business to the next level. Our digital marketing strategies help grow awareness of your product or service, all while building trust in your business. Our approach involves leveraging multiple tools and strategies to deliver exceptional results that are customized to your unique business needs. Don't wait to run out of sales leads. Keep your business growing. Get started with aimyourdigital.com today.
When you take the time to shop at Folsom Lake Honda, there's one thing you'll always find. Happy people ready to serve you. As a family-owned and operated dealership since 2009, customer service is our #1 priority. Our customers love doing business with us, and you will too.
Looking to own or lease? During the spring sales event, drive a brand new Accord or Civic. Visit us today at FolsomLakeHonda.com, your one-stop Honda shop.
Folsom Lake Honda, yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
Hey, Scott, you look great.
Yeah, I'm feeling good and have a new job.
No, there's something different about the way you look.
To be honest, a few months ago, I had an amazing robotic hair transplant procedure at XL Medicine. It's called the artist procedure.
No way. Your hair looks completely natural, and you don't even have a scar. How did they do that?
Dude, the artist system is amazing. I have this fantastic hairline, and I'm happy with my results. XL Medicine could probably help you too, buddy.
Using the artist procedure, Dr. Singh and Dr. Graywall can target and harvest healthy hair follicles with micron-level accuracy from the back of your head and transplant them where you need it. The procedure is painless, and you'll be back doing your regular activities in a couple of days. Ask Dr. Singh and Dr. Graywall at XL Medicine about the artist procedure. Call today, 916-932-4470. That's 932-4470 for a complimentary in-person or Zoom consultation, or on the web at xlmedicine.com. That's EXCEL medicine.com. See what the artist procedure can do for you.
These are actors and not real patients.
Live and local in the afternoon.
They always keep you on edge.
Cattles
and Ramie
on Sactown Sports.
Quick note here that I want to share because it's local. Nate Diaz. An arrest warrant has been issued for Nate Diaz. He was seen on camera choking out a man on Bourbon Street.
Did you see the video?
No, I have no interest in watching videos like that.
Does not look good.
Your front face choked him.
I have absolutely zero interest in watching that. Not a fan of seeing professional fighters choke out people.
And the guy is kind of... my first reaction when I see a story like that is like, why are you messing with Nate Diaz, man? Like, what kind of idiot is out here starting fights?
Okay, so
here's MMA fights.
All right, so here's what I'll say. If somebody started the fight, and Nate finished it, then don't start a fight.
I don't know what started it, but I know in the video clip that I saw, the guy's he's putting his hands up like, hey man, I don't want anything to do with this. You know what I mean? And there's like a big melee going on. Like Nate Diaz isn't the only guy involved in this thing. And then they get lost in the shuffle. You can't see him behind a bunch of people. And then when you do see him again, he has him in the front face chokehold, and the guy's body is just lifeless, falling to the concrete.
I've said it before. I'll say it again. I'm not interested in fighting anybody in 2023. I wasn't really interested in fighting anybody in 2013. But especially now, you don't know who you're getting lippy to. You don't know who you're messing with. You don't know their background. There's plenty of people with jiu-jitsu black belts nowadays. There's plenty of people that train in MMA.
Dude, the comedian Sebastian Maniscalco has a great bit about how you might find yourself in a fight
I've seen that
with an MMA dude.
This is something I told all my friends when we opened up a bar. I'm like, look, don't try to be a tough guy with anybody because you just don't know. You don't know. And so if you're a drunk idiot on Bourbon Street, I don't know what happened, but if you're drunk or you're just trying to pick a fight and you get choked out because you acted a fool, you got choked out. That's on you, not on the dude who choked you out. Don't act like an idiot. Now, if it's a professional fighter taking advantage of his skills and just beating the bag out of something, that I will not watch any of that. I will not. I don't like watching street fights as it is. Which is weird because I love watching like the UFC, but I like watching professional fights.
I do like seeing people get their comeuppance. You know what I mean? Like a guy who deserves a whooping, I'll watch that all day. What I'm saying is I don't know the full context. It didn't look like this guy wanted anything to do with Nate Diaz and found himself in the front face chokehold and a big old crack in his head from falling backwards afterwards. That's ugly to me. That's not what I'm trying to see.
Again, if you're telling me that the guy wasn't picking a fight,
he had his hands up like this.
Diaz took advantage.
He had his hands up like this, like he was going, "Hey man, I don't want nothing to do with this." You know what I mean?
But he was kind of already amongst the brawl too, though. Ramie, it was like
that's what I'm saying. I don't know how they got to that point. I'm just saying, in the few seconds I saw, the dude looked I don't want nothing to do with it.
I don't want to speculate. No one knows when the video was shot.
Right.
What was said before he put his hands up. He might have been acting like, Joe Tough Guy. And then when Nate approached him, he was like, no, I don't want
I'm sorry.
And by then it might have been too late. We don't know what happened. It's just an arrest warrant has been issued for Diaz. Again, choked out a guy on Bourbon Street. So.
This is why I stay home.
Yeah. Is that why?
Yeah.
I go out all the time. I'm not getting choked out by a UFC fighter.
Oh, no, I don't want to have to choke a joker out.
Oh,
I'm Nate Diaz in this.
Text line, how big is the possibility of the win last night now? Having to only win 1 of 3. Yeah, I mean, even with or without D Fox, yesterday would have been huge. And Ramie and I talked about that last week. Like, game 4 would have been huge. If you go up 3-1, you got 2 home games left, worst case scenario, you'd feel great about that. And the texter is right. Like, without D Fox, if that's what happens, which we don't know if that's going to happen or not, but if D Fox doesn't play on Wednesday night, then yeah, I mean, it's even bigger because then all you would have to do is win 1, and you obviously have a much better chance to win 1 game without D Fox and winning 2 without D Fox.
I really think whoever wins game 5 is winning this series.
Text line, we got to get over the last shot. Wiggins had the same opportunity in game 1. I agree. Says call it even. I agree.
With you 100%.
Wiggins had a wide open corner 3, missed it. Barnes had a really good open 3 yesterday on the wing, missed it. 1 for 1, tit for tat, even. Text line, this is a playoff game. The Warriors are already in the zone. They're not going to come out flat like it's December. Again, as I said, I don't think they will. But I wouldn't be surprised if they didn't play great. I mean, there's a difference between coming out and laying an egg and just not playing great. Is it possible they might not play great? Sure. The first couple games, they turned the ball over like 20 times. Could that happen again Wednesday? Sure. Sure it could. But I think they're at a much different level right now than they were during the regular season. Roy Seeley, Draymond is why Fox is hurt, and what Fox did, what he did at the end. Look, no. Can we stop making Draymond the story of everything? Just please stop, everybody.
I get it.
No one knows the exact moment when Fox was hurt. The best guess is when there was about 4:35 left on the clock, and it was Kevon Looney who was trying to block the shot. He went up to kind of block the shot. The whistle was already blown, and Fox kind of threw up a floater, and Looney went up, and he came down, and then Fox kind of shook his hand after that. It wasn't Draymond Green.
I get it, though. People want – I said this before earlier in the series about how people, they when Warriors fans were saying the world was against them, the league was conspiring against them. Man, when tragedy strikes, we want villains. We want something bigger at play. You know what I mean? We don't want it to just be bad things happen. That doesn't sit right with the human psyche. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You need to come up with stuff like this. So I get it. I get why people are doing what they're doing today. It makes sense.
Take a swing around the West. So Saturday night was interesting. LBJ versus Dylan Brooks. Huge Lakers first half. My God, they came out and stomped Memphis in the first quarter. Memphis had like 9 points. I was watching this game at an establishment with Kelly, and that first quarter was awful for Memphis. But to their credit, they fought. They hung around in the second half somehow, some way. And, of course, Dylan Brooks got ejected. He made contact with the groin of LeBron James. LeBron finished with 25, 9, and 5. Here was LBJ in the postgame.
They know what they got, what they have to do. I know what I have to do. But this is not my first rodeo. I've had this throughout my career with, certain individuals. It's easy. It's literally easy. If you want to, we won tonight. Let me not start. I don't want to start this. It's a lot to, We won. You had a hell of a game, my boy. Yes, you had a hell of a game. I'm not going to do this.
Not going to do this. By the way, Brooks did not speak with the media after the game.
What?
Weak.
That's crazy.
If you're going to be a big shot,
he's a stand-up guy.
You're going to call out LeBron before the game, and then you lose the game, and then you don't speak to the media in the post game. Weak sauce.
I'm blaming the PR.
It's not, yeah, that's true.
PR team.
It's not often you got me rooting for LeBron, much less the Lakers, but I really want to see, like I just said, I love seeing a dude get his comeuppance. That's exactly what happened to Dylan Brooks in that game on Saturday night. I kind of enjoyed that.
So that was what happened in that one. LA up 2-1. Denver up 3-1. Minnesota won last night to stave off the sweep. Anthony Edwards is a freaking star. Games 2 through 4 in this series, he's averaged 37 points a game. I remind people he's 21 years old. He's 21 and he's averaging 37 in the last 3 games in this series. And just his attitude, his compete level is fantastic. Here was Ant in the post game.
That's just the truth. It's 3-0. I mean, you got to win one more game to send us home. And I was just telling the truth. I mean, they still got to win one more game to go home, and we got another chance to win another game and come back to Minnesota. So, I mean, I take pride in. I didn't want to say I got swept. I don't ever want to say I got swept in my career. So, I definitely took it personally tonight.
Love that. I took it personally.
He has favorite player in the league potential a few years down the road. I love watching that guy.
I love him,
and I love his mentality, his attitude.
I also think he's really funny. There's like all these, there's all these sound bites of him.
And even the ugliness of last off season. Like I always say, I just want to see people be better from mistakes that they made. And he owned it and said, I got to be better. That everything. I mean, obviously, I wish he would have done what he did, but like everything about the dude, I enjoy. I appreciate.
Finally, the Suns are up 3-1 in their series against the Clippers. KD and Booker combined for 61 points in Game 4. CP3 closed. The Clippers have pretty much gone with the leave CP3 wide open approach and did not pay off for them in Game 4. So, again, Suns up 3-1. Russell Westbrook, though, that guy's playing his butt off. He finished with 37, 6, and 4 in the losing effort.
Shutting some people up.
It's like a one-man band out there doing the best he can. Kyle Lowry just shot an awful-looking air ball. Ugh. Yikes. So there you go. Spin around the Western Conference.
And you touched on the East, too, very briefly there at the end.
Yes.
Well done.
Man of many talents, Ramie.
So talented.
I try the best I can.
Hateful, but talented.
Jimmy Butler already has 13 points in this game against Milwaukee.
He's
Milwaukee's
annoying.
Up 6.
He's an annoying man.
Top spots coming up next.
Cattles
and Ramie.
Sactown Sports. It's the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
A source is I've read it a couple times online.
Dave, I mean, I don't need any more, do you?
I'm convinced because if you read it just once online,
a couple,
it's garbage.
I have really read it.
If you read it a couple times, well, lock it in, baby.
I see why you love this segment, Dave.
I do.
The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross. Weekday mornings from 6 to 10 on Sactown Sports.
I'm Scott Trout, attorney and CEO of the domestic litigation firm Cordell & Cordell. We help men deal with the life changes triggered by divorce, such as child custody and property division, among many others. But life changes also occur after divorce. These changes can make parts of your existing court order irrelevant or harder to follow. If you feel a modification to your court orders might be necessary, talk to us at Cordell & Cordell. We're a partner men can count on.
500 Capitol Mall, Suite 2060, Sacramento, California, 95814. Cordell.
When you're an innovative business, every blinking cursor, every blank page is an opportunity. What will you do with it? Will you make something better or create something new? Our Dell Technologies advisors provide you with tools and expertise to do incredible things because we believe there's an innovator in all of us. For advice on smart PCs powered by Intel V Pro that's built for business, call a Dell Technologies advisor at 877-ASK-DELL.
Progressive presents Precious Moments.
Hey, Jess, want to come for a ride on my motorcycle? You know, we can talk about our feelings and explore our emotional compatibility.
I thought you'd never ask.
The exchange you just heard didn't actually happen, but it could.
Bundle your home and other vehicles with Progressive, and you could use the savings to make sure the motorcycle is always ready for your dream girl. So keep the dream alive and the savings coming with Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers.
ACR Solar and Home Improvements did a great job to keep my family covered with our brand new roof. And what an experience that was for us. Now we're comfortable and dry during the Sacramento rainy season, and our home value has increased. Plus, the home itself, it's looking and functioning at its very best. And you can get the same quality experience with ACR Solar and Home Improvements. ACR Solar and Home Improvements has been bringing us all the highest quality, value, and integrity since 1979. Go to acrsolar.com.
When you're ready to get properly fitted for golf clubs, join the thousands of Northern California golfers who visited the indoor-outdoor Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio. Players of all abilities found the Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio offers answers to questions about golf club fitting. You'll find a professional staff of fitters, major equipment brands, and cutting-edge technology featuring TrackMan. See for yourself at the Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio, Fulton Avenue at the Cap City Freeway. Call 916-808-2531 to schedule your fitting. 808-2531 for longer, straighter drives.
Nothing tastes better than a craft beer on a beautiful afternoon. Sunrise Marketplace is transforming the Sunrise Mall parking lot into a backyard hangout on May 20th. There will be craft breweries, home brewers, cideries, meaderies, food trucks, and backyard games. This will be one of the best events happening this year. Tickets are on sale now at shopsmp.com. Use discount code HBREW23 for $5 off general admission. Every ticket helps support Citrus Heights Heart and Citrus Heights Chamber of Commerce.
Get to Acura of Stockton, where precision-crafted performance is at your fingertips. Elevate your driving experience with a vehicle that's built to impress. Acura of Stockton has a great selection of new Acuras and customer service that will exceed your expectations. And right now, lease a new Acura TLX, MDX, or Integra with low lease rates available. Take luxury to a whole new level in a new Acura from Acura of Stockton and AcuraofStockton.com.
My brother-in-law died suddenly, and now my sister and her kids have to sell their home. That's why I told my husband we could not put off getting life insurance any longer. An agent offered us a 10-year, $500,000 policy for nearly $50 a month. Then we called SelectQuote. SelectQuote found us identical coverage for only $19 a month, a savings of $369 a year.
Whether you need a $500,000 policy or a $5 million policy, SelectQuote could save you more than 50% on term life insurance. For your free quote, call SelectQuote at 1-800-330-1991. That's 1-800-330-1991. Or go to SelectQuote.com. That's 1-800-330-1991. SelectQuote. We shop, you save. Full details on example policies at selectquote.com/commercials.
KHTKAM HD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
This is Sactown Sports.
Sactown Sports.
Headlines. With your Sactown Sports headlines, I'm Simone Rickford. The Sacramento Kings couldn't find the dagger in the final seconds of Game 4 for the Battle of NorCal in the 126-125 loss yesterday, and now only eclipsed by a deeply concerning report regarding De'Aaron Fox. Charania of The Athletic reported earlier this afternoon that Fox has suffered a fractured index finger in his left shooting hand. Fox is expected to be listed as doubtful to play in Game 5 versus the Warriors. The Kings' all-star guard is believed to have sustained the injury midway through the fourth quarter of Game 4 and played through it. Fox had 38 points, 9 boards, and 5 assists on Sunday. Check out our latest findings on this impactful development only on SactownSports.com. And finally, breaking news out of the NFL as Packers and Jets have agreed to a mega trade sending four-time MVP Aaron Rodgers to New York. And without further ado, let's get into it.
Let's get it.
I'm Simone. Those are your Sactown Sports headlines. Top spot coming at you right now on Cattles and Ramie.
Did you miss the headline and the top story of the day?
Extra, extra, read all about it.
Don't worry, because we got you covered.
This is how we do.
It's the Cattles and Ramie.
Top spot.
We all know what the top story is today. De'Aaron Fox hurts. He has a fracture at the tip of his index finger on his shooting hand. Here was ESPN's Adrian Wojnarowski with more detail.
There's still some hope
that De'Aaron Fox will be able to play Game 5, that crucial game back in Sacramento with this series tied 2-2. I'm told he would need a protective covering on that finger. I'm told it's the very tip of that left index finger on his shooting hand. You know, the x-rays came back with a fracture there, but I think there's still some optimism. He'll be able to give it a go. Now, how effective he can be, how it impacts his grip, his shot, certainly those are the concerns. But the expectation is he'd get fitted or get a covering on that finger, on the hand, that would perhaps allow him to play. He's listed as doubtful right now, but again, certainly with the stakes right now at this point in the season, in the playoffs, I think De'Aaron Fox certainly is going to try to do whatever he can to get on the court, and there's optimism that at the very least he's going to give it a try Tuesday night with the series tied 2-2, Malika.
I would expect Fox to be out there on Wednesday to at least try it, Ramie. I just don't know what to expect. You have no idea how a player is going to respond to an injury like this. I mean, you could look at Domas and what he's done all season long after fracturing his hand. He was able to get through it and play at a very high level. I would argue his best season in the NBA. But we don't know. We don't know how this is going to impact Fox. And obviously he's got to handle the basketball a ton, and he's not the greatest shooter from distance. That will be impacted, I would imagine, as well, because this is his shooting hand. But I would think that Fox will give it a try.
You would think so. If it's one of those things where it's like it's pain tolerance, or there is no risk for further injury or re-injury, and the team doesn't have to literally hold him back and keep him off the court, then yeah. If this is at all, if the ball, pun very much intended, if the ball is in De'Aaron Fox's court when it comes to the decision on whether or not to play, yeah, I would expect the same thing as you, Nick, that he'll be out there on Wednesday. If it's one of those things where it's serious enough that the team has to step in, then they'll probably have to tie him to one of the training tables to get him not to run out to the Golden One center floor on Wednesday night, because he's that type of dude, man. I mean, all you need to know about how competitive De'Aaron Fox is to look at what he did in the fourth quarter this year. You know what I mean? That's where it comes out. This is not a guy who, if this is something that can be played with, he's gonna decide to sit on the bench. That decision will have to be made for him if that decision is being made.
Yes, and the medical team will obviously weigh in on this, and the coaching staff will speak with De'Aaron to try to figure out how he's feeling and how it's going, and they'll go from there. Again, I'm not going to try to be a doctor. I have no idea what to expect. I'm not anticipating much of anything other than I'm leaning towards Fox at least attempting to play in this game. Don't know if he'll look like 50% Fox, 75% Fox, 80% Fox. If Fox is able to play, earlier in the show, Ramie and I talked about if Fox is out for the rest of this series, then the Warriors are going to win the series. That's what we believe, that the Warriors will win if Fox misses the rest of this series. But if Fox is out there playing on Wednesday, if you get 75% of Fox, you can win this series. You can win this series if everybody else plays as well as they can play. You need Herter to step up. We'll talk about him in a little bit. HB to step up. Domas. Domas, he has been struggling in this series. And yesterday, if you're watching the game, you're sitting there saying to yourself in the first half, hey, he looks a little bit more aggressive. He's going after Looney, right? He's playing through the chest of Kevon Looney. And then all of a sudden that disappeared in the second half. I don't know why.
Disappeared.
Not sure why.
I can't make sense of it, Nick. And you would think that there's more to be had out there for De'Aaron Fox with Draymond Green, or for Domas with Draymond Green chasing De'Aaron Fox all over the court and making his life difficult in the second half. There had to be something open there for Domas. And like you said, Nick, we saw it in the first half. What happened at halftime that either Domas took it upon himself or the coaching staff decided to change course in terms of what he was doing that was working so well? That first half, Nick, was everything we've been waiting for. Well, short of Kevin Herter making shots.
Yeah.
Everything we've been waiting for in watching the Kings throughout this series. Everything was sort of clicking and falling into place in that first half. And then I obviously the Warriors did some things in the second half to change the way that the Kings were playing, but it seemed to me like a lot of that was the Kings doing it to themselves first and foremost, with Domas changing the way that he played in the second half. I couldn't figure it out. I couldn't wrap my head around it.
Yeah, I don't get the ebbs and flows with his aggression in this series. I think you've got to go out there and just keep going after Looney. And you're going to occasionally get your shot blocked. That's what happens. But we've seen Domas be aggressive against guys like Rudy Gobert and have some pretty good, success with it. I don't understand. Like, Looney is susceptible. We've seen it a few times in this series. Yes, he's played, really well from time to time against Domas. You tip your cap in those instances. But I said it before the series, Ramie. I want to see Domas with 16, 17 shots a night. And, the second half yesterday, it's just like, what are we doing? You took 2 shots in the third quarter. He was non-existent in the second half. I mean, he had 3 rebounds and 2 assists to go along with 6 points. And with Fox not being 100%, because he's not going to be 100%. I mean, it's impossible. He has a fractured finger. He might be 80%. I don't know. But with Fox not being anywhere near 100% now for the rest of this series, it is even that more important to see Domas be aggressive and try to get going and have deep paint touches and not always be, lurking around the free throw line. I know that's what you do offensively, and he's a really good facilitator, but I've said this, man, every once in a while. I've been saying it all regular season. Get greedy every once in a while. Get your tukas down in the paint. Get near the bucket.
He has to be the guy for this team. With De'Aaron Fox. Like, he has to be the guy for this. And that doesn't necessarily mean the leading scorer, but the dominant force on the basketball court for this Kings team if they're going to win game 3 without De'Aaron Fox, if that's the case. He has to be that dude.
I mean, Dre in the chat, youtube.com, Sactown Sports 1140 says, I don't think Sabonis is that dude. He's not an offensive player. He's limited. Look, he did it all regular season long. I'm not asking him to score 30 a night. I'm not asking him to all of a sudden become the best player in the NBA. I'm just asking him to look like the same Domas that we saw in the regular season. And again, Kevon Looney's done a good job, but it's not like we haven't seen examples of Domas being aggressive and decisive and, just going after Looney and playing through his chest and getting buckets. He also just has to make easier shots. I mean, he's missed a ton of bunnies.
Yep.
He's shooting 45% on layups in the postseason. That's from Tim Maxwell.
But you know what? You know who else missed a bunch of bunnies last night? They kind of canceled each other out. Was Draymond Green. He had a bunch of open layups at the basket. And he said after the game that he's got to make those. Those two almost canceled each other out in terms of their offensive game in the second half. I know that Doris Burke was fawning over Draymond Green and the shots he was getting in the second half and Steph Curry. But a lot of them were good shots, and he was just flat out missing them.
There's just so much going on.
The world is crazy
in this
today.
Series.
Oh, I thought you meant just the world in general.
Well, yeah, things are going bananas. I mean, Aaron Rodgers traded Ime Udoka as the new head coach of the Houston Rockets. DeJounte Murray was suspended for Game 5 for bumping a ref. I mean, there's all sorts of stuff happening in the sports world. But David Neal talking about Domas in the YouTube chat. They're not going for his pump fake, and when he does, when somebody coming over to strip him, he puts it on the floor. Again, that goes with being decisive. He has not been when you're watching Domas and he looks like he's thinking everything through, that's bad. And like when and
you can see it. You can see it.
Yeah, when he's taking extra dribbles, when he's pausing and kind of just standing around in the paint, not really sure if he should pump fake or go right up with it. Again, he's got to be decisive. He's got to be aggressive. And we've seen him in Game 2 in the first half. He was decisive. He was aggressive. And he was scoring. Like, why not take more of those 15-footers? You're capable of knocking them down. He just is not being aggressive enough. So be decisive, be aggressive, and live with the results. I don't want you to keep forcing bad shots, but, live with the results, man. Keep going after guys. Keep trying to score the ball. Get those deep paint touches. That's another layer of this offense that the Kings have to absolutely open up here. especially with Fox being out, if he is out, but especially with Fox being banged up. Your thoughts on De'Aaron Fox's injury, the Warriors-Kings series? 916-339-1140 is the text line. The phone number is 1-800-920-1140. I remind you that the first-round playoff coverage on Sactown Sports is brought to you by National Garage Door. National Garage Door, quality doors, quality people. We'll continue to talk about De'Aaron Fox's injury, get your reaction. Also, it's time for HB and Herder to show up. I'll give you some ugly numbers in 90 seconds.
Cattles and Ramie.
Sactown Sports. Are you ready to hear this on Sactown Sports?
Hand off McCaffrey. Touchdown! San Francisco!
Or how about this?
Feel super, baby! The five-time Super Bowl champions, and they're looking for number 6.
Catch every Niners game during the 2023 season
On your home for the 49ers.
Sactown Sports.
Hey, you want to be around people having a great time? You need to come check out Capital Casino, offering the most varieties of table games in the region in the friendliest environment. Come for the food, which is awesome, of course, and stay and play. Conveniently located in downtown Sacramento at 411 North 16th Street, right there in downtown Sacramento for over 20 years. Cap Casino, best food, best games, and of course, the best action. And please gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
When you take the time to shop at Folsom Lake Honda, there's one thing you'll always find: happy people ready to serve you. As a family-owned and operated dealership since 2009, customer service is our #1 priority. Our customers love doing business with us, and you will too.
Looking to own or lease? During the spring sales event, drive a brand new Accord or Civic. Visit us today at FolsomLakeHonda.com, your one-stop Honda shop.
Folsom Lake Honda, yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
Live and local in the afternoon.
They always keep you on edge.
Cattles
and Ramie
on Sactown Sports.
Dre in the YouTube chat, the regular season is different from the playoffs. Not everyone is made for the playoffs, especially players that are limited on offense. 100. Yes, Dre, if you've been listening to this show with any consistency, I've said that all year long, that the regular season is not the playoffs and the playoffs is not the regular season. Things get more physical, et cetera, et cetera. But again, Dre, let's not act like game 2 didn't happen.
And I wouldn't say Domas is limited offensively. He's one of the more, his skill set is one of the more diverse skill sets among centers in this league. When you look at his dribble, his passing ability, his shooting ability, he's not a great shooter from the mid-range or 3, but better than most. He's one of the best passing big men in the league. He's one of the best. He was the leading rebounder in the league this year. I don't know how you can call his game limited. Is it perfect? Are there no holes in his game whatsoever? No, there's almost nobody in this league who you can say that about. But to call his game limited, have you been watching the Kings this year?
I would also say that like it's just a hesitancy of him not wanting to shoot, him not wanting to go. Like that 15-footer is wide open every single possession, and he's taken like 2 or 3 in a game, and he knocks down 1, and then he doesn't take that shot for the next 15 minutes in the game. So he's capable of knocking down that 15 to 17-footer. Roy Seeley, Nick is all about if. I don't get your point, Roy, because I said if the role players step up.
If Draymond or if De'Aaron Fox doesn't play?
I mean, it's my job to tell you how things can change in the series if certain things happen.
There you go again with the if.
That's what
Cattles.
I do. I don't know what would you like me to say? What would you Roy, give me my content, Roy.
This is the second time today we've had to look into the camera and go, what do you want from us?
Like, Roy, you give me the content. What would you like me to say, Roy? Talk radio is about talking about what could happen in the future. What if this happens?
It does seem sometimes like people turn the show on, and it's the first time they've listened to sports talk radio. Like they don't understand what we're doing here. Yeah, we talk about possibilities. Those are ifs. If things happen, other things could happen. That's what we do.
Roy Seeley comes back and says, let's change the lineup. Again, Roy, that's previewing a game. That's previewing a game. And I understand that you can't listen to every second of the show, but I talked about that earlier. Tomorrow, I would have come on this show and I would have said I would start Davion. I tweeted it yesterday at Nick C Radio. I would start Davion Mitchell in Game 5. Even if Fox is playing, I would start Davion Mitchell alongside De'Aaron Fox. I just don't understand where it's like, you keep saying if.
You just said if again.
Yeah, I mean, it's what we do. If this happens, this is what I think will be the result. That's sports talk radio. That's I don't understand this. I just don't. It's like if you're talking to your buddy about possibly building a house or something, you say, well, if I put a deck there, then this would happen. That's what you're talking about. Like, I can't use the word if.
Your buddy's like, stop with the ifs, all right?
I don't understand it.
If you put a deck there.
Like, I just don't understand it. I'm
all about the ifs.
I'm trying to paint a picture on trying to paint a picture as to how the Kings can win this series if De'Aaron Fox, again, if is 75%.
And if you didn't hate Sacramento, you'd be talking about this game in a much different way, right?
That's right. It's all because I just hate Sacramento. All I will say is I did radio for years in Boston, and I grew up in New England for decades. If you think I, quote unquote, hate Sacramento, boy, oh boy, you would think that I just am repulsed by any New England team. So, HB and Herter haven't been good enough.
No.
Domas needs to be better because he's an all-star. He's an all-NBA guy. And your stars need to be stars. But HB and Hurt are just not good enough. And with Fox banged up now, you're 2-2. It's almost amazing that you're 2-2 when you think about how certain things have happened, right? Like if I told you before this series that Domas would be playing the way he played, if Herter would be playing the way he played, if Keegan was invisible the first 3 games, if HB wasn't good, you'd say 3-1 series. Or did the Kings get swept? If I didn't tell you anything else about the series and just gave you what these guys have done, there's no way that they would win 2 games with all of those guys not playing well.
Yep.
I mean, you were fortunate enough, and fortune's a bad word. It was great that Monk in Game 1 gave you 30-plus points. That helped cover up for some of it, right? So there have been some things that are a little wonky in this series that would be very unpredictable if I were just to give you the numbers. But Herter yesterday, man, 2 points, 3 rebounds, and 2 dimes in 21 minutes. And he's not playing good defense.
He's been non-existent, man.
2 points, 3 rebounds, and 2 assists.
And yeah, last night he was getting blown by. I don't remember if it was after Game 1 or Game 2 where I expressed my surprise that Kevin Herter stayed in front of Steph Curry on a couple of possessions. There was none of that. There was none of that last night, yesterday afternoon.
In this series.
Too early a tip-off, by the way. We haven't mentioned that. I don't like it.
Yeah, I'm not going to go down that road right now because I have a whole thing with the NBA scheduling. I don't want to go too far down the road right now.
Okay.
But I had to stop myself. So Herter in this series, he's averaging 9 points a game. But it's not even about the points. It's just how bad he's been. Like shooting. He's shooting 38% from the floor. He's shooting 14.3% from three-point land. 14% from 3. And again, he's not giving you much of anything defensively. Meanwhile, HB, yesterday, 9 points. 3 for 11 from the field. In yesterday's game, which came down to the final shot, apropos, with HB being the guy taking that shot. In a game that tight, HB and Herter combined to give you 11 points. They shot a combined 4 for 15 from the field. They shot a combined, Ramie, 1 of 7 from 3. Barnes was 1 of 6. They did give you 6 rebounds. In this series, Barnes and Herter combined are giving you 22 points a game. Combined. They're shooting 40% from the floor. They're shooting less than 20% from 3. If Fox is 75%, if we go off of that premise, These guys need to be much, much, much better.
Much better. I will say this, though, and I get why you want to start Davion Mitchell. I feel like at this point you're gonna live or die with Kevin Huerter. I just don't think you're gonna have the firepower you need with Davion Mitchell out there. I think you gotta run Kevin Huerter and Barnes out there. I know you didn't suggest sitting Barnes. I think you got to run both those guys out there and just hope they can find it, because I don't think they're winning this series without that. I don't think they're winning this series with Davion Mitchell out there getting starter minutes. I think you just have to hope that Huerter and Barnes wake up if you're going to have a chance to win this series. Like you said, Nick, with the numbers you just explained, it's a borderline miracle that is tied to a piece. If you don't get a huge night for Malik Monk, if you don't get Domas Sabonis waking up for a game in game 2, if you and last night they blew that game from Keegan Murray after he finally woke up. You're going to need Kevin Huerter and Harrison Barnes to wake up. I don't think pulling them out of the game is going to fix what's broken here.
Yeah, how do you win this series with Fox at 75%? Let's just say that's the premise, the hypothetical we're going off of. Huerter and HB have to shoot a combined 38 to 40% from 3. They got to give you each, 14, 15, 16 points a night. You need Davion to at least give you something offensively. You need Davion to continue to play great defense. You need Domas to be better. That's what you need. Those things come together, you can still win this series. You got 2 games left at home in a best of 3. You can still win it. But as I said a little bit earlier, you win it if everything, the level of everyone else and everything kind of rises. Your level of play rises collectively to lift De'Aaron, because you're thinking Fox is not going to be, and if he is, great. But you're thinking now Fox is not going to be that same guy moving forward in this series, so everybody else around him has to be that much better.
Yeah.
And they just have not been good enough, and they've needed Fox to be ridiculous in this series. Ridiculously good.
He's been the best player in the series. I know Steph Curry's been pretty good.
Oh, you better watch out.
De'Aaron Fox has been the best player in this series.
Better hope Doris Burke's not listening. She'll be all over you. We'll have the call back with Sean Cunningham. He talked about the Warriors and Kings with us earlier in the show. Also, more of your reaction on this Fox injury. It's coming up next.
Cattles
and Ramie.
Sactown Sports. It's the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
Good morning, Jacob. Welcome in.
Sac Kings fans are the best. I was at game 2. Every single man in the bathroom at halftime washed his hands. I've never seen that at another sports stadium anywhere in the world.
Way to go, Kings fans. I don't think I would have ever expected to hear that call.
We're the cleanest fans in the NBA.
The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross. Weekday mornings from 6 to 10 on Sactown Sports.
This is an important notice to consumers facing $10,000 or more in credit card debt, medical bills, or other unsecured debt. You may not be required to pay it all back because there are special programs that will significantly reduce the amount you owe if you qualify. Accredited Debt Relief has helped qualify consumers with over $1 billion in debt. This is not bankruptcy or a debt consolidation loan. For this free information, call 800-458-8822. 800-458-8822.
It's time to get into playoff mode. And with NBA League Pass, you can stay up to date on all the action. Watch select playoff games, get expert analysis, and access behind-the-scenes stories and nonstop coverage on all your favorite devices. What are you waiting for? There's never been a better time to sign up. NBA League Pass. Head to nba.com/watch League Pass and start today. Blackouts may apply.
Get to Acura of Stockton, where precision-crafted performance is at your fingertips. Elevate your driving experience with a vehicle that's built to impress. Acura of Stockton has a great selection of new Acuras and customer service that will exceed your expectations. And right now, lease a new Acura TLX, MDX, or Integra with low lease rates available. Take luxury to a whole new level in a new Acura from Acura of Stockton and AcuraofStockton.com.
Great team, great team. Where's the defense? Defense! Okay, everyone take a break. Greetings, Sacramento. Doug Christie here for the Good Feet store, asking, when is something too good to be true? when it probably is. And had I not experienced it for myself, this spectacular season would definitely qualify as too good to be true. So everyone out there in radio land, continue to enjoy. Something else that could seem too good to be true is Good Feet Arch Supports. But trust me, I've experienced firsthand the comfort, balance, and support possible with Good Feet Arch Supports. And so have countless others who have pretty much given up hope. It's time you felt good again. Take your feet to the Good Feet store for a free personalized arch support fitting and test walk. Experience for yourself the comfort, balance, and support missing in your life. The Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, Stockton, Modesto, and now Vacaville, online at goodfeet.com.
Hey, Scott, you look great. Yeah, I'm feeling good and have a new job. No, there's something different about the way you look. To be honest, a few months ago, I had an amazing robotic hair transplant procedure at XL Medicine. It's called the artist procedure. No way. Your hair looks completely natural, and you don't even have a scar. How did they do that? Dude, the artist system is amazing. I have this fantastic hairline, and I'm happy with my results. XL Medicine could probably help you too, buddy.
Using the artist procedure, Dr. Singh and Dr. Graywall can target and harvest healthy hair follicles with micron-level accuracy from the back of your head and transplant them where you need it. The procedure is painless, and you'll be back doing your regular activities in a couple of days. Ask Dr. Singh and Dr. Graywall at XL Medicine about the artist procedure. Call today, 916-932-4470. That's 932-4470 for a complimentary in-person or Zoom consultation, or on the web at xlmedicine.com. That's EXCEL medicine.com. See what the artist procedure can do for you.
These are actors and not real patients.
Sactown Sports.
Headlines.
With your Sactown Sports headlines, I'm Simone Rickford. The Sacramento Kings couldn't find the dagger in the final seconds of Game 4 for the Battle of NorCal in the 126-125 loss yesterday, and now only eclipsed by a deeply concerning report regarding De'Aaron Fox. Charania of The Athletic reported earlier this afternoon that Fox has suffered a fractured index finger in his left shooting hand. Fox is expected to be listed as doubtful to play in Game 5 versus the Warriors. The Kings All-Star guard is believed to have sustained the injury midway through the fourth quarter of Game 4 and played through it. Fox had 38 points, 9 boards, and 5 assists on Sunday. Check out our latest findings on this impactful development only on SactownSports.com. And finally, breaking news out of the NFL as Packers and Jets have agreed to a mega trade sending 4-time MVP Aaron Rodgers to New York. And without further ado, let's get into it.
Let's get it.
I'm Simone. Those are your Sactown Sports headlines. JJ, please hit that call back.
I'm going to light up these phone lines.
The phone is ringing, and we are checking to see who's on the line.
Long-time listener, first-time caller.
News, gossip, a story.
Okay, who's the next victim?
It's the callback
on Cattles and Ramie.
All right, Sean Cunningham of Fox 40 was with us earlier today. He was on the Folsom Lake Honda hotline. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop. Here was Sean with any update on the finger and whether or not De'Aaron Fox will be playing on Wednesday.
You know, I've talked to a few folks, both inside the walls, outside the walls, through the agency, through people that, you know, just kind of screaming into any echo chamber I can find right now. And I think it really just going to come down to what type of device they can possibly wrap him up with on the finger, being that it is on the shooting hand of his being in there, and really come down to pain management, swelling, things like that. I think, you know, I think knowing that there's been players that have been able to play through it, knowing where De'Aaron's head is at in terms of where this series is at. Speaking to him last night, I put out a video on my Twitter account earlier, just kind of showing how his demeanor was after possibly suffering the injury, which I think we all might have identified around the 4:35 mark of last night's game in the fourth quarter. You never really see him, at least in my footage, bothered by it. And of course, adrenaline is probably playing a huge role in that moment, in that game. So, yeah, I think there's optimism, clearly.
Optimism is good. Again, I would anticipate Fox trying to play. We don't know if it's worse or better or whatever the case may be compared to Domas' injury. I do think if you watch Domas play through the injury, it might give you at least some optimism if you're De'Aaron Fox. Might keep your hope alive. And I would expect him to play and try. And hopefully Hopefully he's able to function.
I made the mistake of, I don't know that it's a mistake. Our very own Frankie Cardicelli tweeted out a link earlier to an article. I'll just tell you what the article was. It was from InStreetClothes.com.
Oh yeah, that's
understanding De'Aaron Fox's
very
index
popular
finger
site.
fracture, but it's written by a medical professional.
Oh yeah, I mean, if you want any thoughts on serious injury or sports takes, it's what the site is.
InStreetClothes.com.
InStreetClothes.com.
Yes.
Okay.
It's written by a medical professional, a doctor, if you will, but
Frankie digging deep.
I didn't know anything more when I was done reading the article than I did before I started reading the article, because basically what it comes down to is we know the bone that it's in. There is a number of different kinds of fractures that it could be. The severity of any one of those number of different kind of fractures that it could be on any level, you know what I mean? Any severity in terms of how bad the fracture is. So the Kings aren't giving us more than what we got. You know what I mean? For us to sit here and try and figure out or speculate on how serious this is wasted time and energy. You know what I mean? This could be, it's literally a fracture to the tip of his finger, and it could be one of a dozen different outcomes.
Right.
Because of a fracture to the tip of his index
So
finger.
what you're telling me is you might have just wanted to listen to your co-host when I started the show by saying, let's not all try to be doctors. We don't know what's happening. We won't get any details, so let's just see if the guy plays on Wednesday night.
Sorry for being human and letting my curiosity get the best of me.
I just would have saved you going from, what is it, keepmypantson.com? What's the name of it? Streetclothes.com?
Streetclothes.com.
Well, there you go.
I do like keepmypantson.com also.
A very much needed resource.
Great website.
By the way, we're at 92 likes. I'd like to get to 100. Can we get 8 more before the end of the show?
Ooh, even though Nick hates Sacramento.
8 more likes would be great if we hit that 100 number. YouTube.com, Sactown Sports 1140, giving you 6A to 6P, live and local, Monday through Friday. And we'll also be out at Doko on Wednesday and Friday.
It's going to be a hot one. We've been fortunate the first two.
I know. I was looking at that, and I was like,
buddy.
What's going on? I'm supposed to be having a get-together on Saturday, too?
I got to get out to Punchline. Oh, your get-together is this Saturday?
Yes.
Got to get to Punchline right after the show on Wednesday.
Wait, I don't like that reaction from either of you.
No, I remembered. He didn't remember. That made me laugh.
Oh, I don't anticipate him remembering. I was going to send a group text in the middle of the week to remind everybody. And it was supposed to be 4. Thank you. It was supposed to be 4 o'clock start. We might push it back a little bit just to make sure Ramie's okay.
I will melt in the heat. You know how bad
it's not going to be as bad as it was the last time I threw a get together.
You know the degree to which I forgot? Me and my girlfriend were talking about a pool day on Saturday. We're just going to go hang out by the pool, and I was going to invite you and Kelly.
Well, now you got to tell her that you forgot and you already have plans on Saturday. That's what you're going to do. By the way, back to Sean Cunningham. Whether or not there'll be more pressure on Kevin Huerter to play well now that Fox is banged up.
Yeah, I don't know if pressure is the right word. Certainly it's going to mean increased playing time from what he saw in Game 4, in my estimation. So there's going on with him in the last game, some rotational things that he couldn't really get going, and really coming off of Game 3 where he ended up being a little bit of a bright spot for Sacramento despite them really not looking like Kings basketball you've kind of grown accustomed to in the regular season. Seeing him not have the type of production, or at least the minutes played that you would normally see, was a little out of character, a little out of question. But I think with the rotations and the adjustments that Mike Brown has gone through in this series, I'd be fully confident thinking that somebody like Kevin Huerter will play a bigger role in Game 5, and maybe that was just a little bit of a one-off, but
he's got to play a bigger role.
I'm glad that Sean is optimistic.
I've said it a number of times, Nick. He has to play a bigger role.
Yeah, I don't know which Huerter we're going to get. I mean,
you don't win this series if he doesn't. You won't win this series if he doesn't.
In Game 1, he was 3 of 12 for 6 points.
Oof.
Game 2, he had 15. He was decent in Game 2. Game 3, he was okay, 6 of 12 from the field. It's his 3-point shooting again. He's had these ups and downs. And try to do this quickly in my head here, adding up. Let's see, 2 for 14. That would be 3 for 20. By my count, 3 for 21.
I'll take your word for it.
3 for 21 from 3-point land this series.
That's
not good.
Bad, yeah.
So that's got to be better. Got to be better.
That's disappointing, man, because he was one of the few guys coming into the postseason where we went, hey, he's been here and done this before.
Look,
you know what I mean?
If you want to, I have no idea. How did that just become a 3-point game? I looked up, it was a 9-point game, and a 3-point game in a matter of 15 seconds. Talking about Miami and Milwaukee. Milwaukee's up 53-50. If you want to be positive, if you want to be optimistic, if you want to look at the silver lining, you could say, maybe it's not the worst thing in the world that HB and Herter have been so off, because now you need them to really step up. Like, how would you feel better if they were actually pretty hot early on in this series, and then you needed them to stay hot? It's almost like they're role players. Role players don't stay hot through a whole series, or, well, sometimes they do, but they're role players for a reason. So maybe because they've been so off shooting wise the first 4 games, maybe that means a hot streak's right around the corner.
And I said that before game 4, Nick, that there has to be some leveling off here to happen in terms of the Kings shooting and offense in general. And we saw it in the first half. Mostly it was Keegan Murray, and obviously De'Aaron Fox. Domas was doing his thing. But Kevin Herter was not a part of that leveling off in game 4. And you need him to sort of make the law of averages come to fruition in terms of the type of shooter that he is, and balance out how bad he's been through the first 4 games of this series.
So again, thanks to Sean.
Exactly.
Thanks to Sean Cunningham from Fox 40 joining us earlier in the show on the Folsom Lake Honda hotline. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop. Great stuff from Sean as usual. Know he's very busy this time of year, running around.
So that's this Saturday at your place.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah. The 29th.
Gotcha.
Thought it was clear in the text when I put April 29th.
Yeah. You're probably right.
I didn't know if I needed to add anything more than the actual date.
That was weeks ago, though.
Ramie, do you want to say his address right now, too, on air?
I included that in the text, didn't I?
Think you did.
Whoa,
big mouth.
man.
I'm sorry.
We'll continue with the Fox Talk Kings Warriors. Also, apparently it's Ramie's fault. An NBA player hit another NBA player in the junk. That's next.
Cattles
and Ramie.
Sactown Sports. Sactown Sports wants to congratulate Kings head coach Mike Brown for being the first coach to unanimously win the NBA Coach of the Year award.
100 first place votes, first time ever. Wow. A unanimous decision.
Thank you guys. Thank you, everybody. I'm really appreciative of being in Sacramento. The fans, the city has been fantastic.
How will Coach Brown lead the Kings during the playoffs?
Tune into Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com to find out.
ACR Solar and Home Services is here to help you, just like they helped me. Jason Ross here, and ACR did a great job for my family, bringing their impeccable reputation and great workmanship to keep my family covered with a brand new roof. Now we're comfortable and dry during Sacramento's rainy season, knowing our home's structural integrity is protected. Our value is increased, and the home itself, well, it's looking and functioning at its best. The proof, it's in our roof. Now, you can get this same quality experience with ACR Solar and Home Services. Just go to acrsolar.com now to sign up for a free estimate and see all that they have to offer, not only to protect your home and family during the cold and wet Sacramento weather, but also including premium made in the USA solar electric systems. That's acrsolar.com. ACR Solar and Home Services is bringing us all the highest quality, highest value, and integrity since 1979. Go to acrsolar.com. That's acrsolar.com.
When you take the time to shop at Folsom Lake Honda, there's one thing you'll always find. Happy people ready to serve you. As a family-owned and operated dealership since 2009, customer service is our #1 priority. Our customers love doing business with us, and you will too.
Looking to own or lease? During the spring sales event, drive a brand new Accord or Civic. Visit us today at FolsomLakeHonda.com, your one-stop Honda shop.
Folsom Lake Honda, yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
Since the 1950s, Warehouse Paint has been helping local homeowners and professionals bring color to life. Whether it's painting your home's exterior, repainting kitchen cabinets, or finding the perfect accent color, Warehouse Paint's expert team is here to help. You'll find a great selection of PPG and Benjamin Moore paints, along with local service you can trust. With 5 Sacramento area stores, Warehouse Paint is ready to help bring your next paint project to life. Visit warehousepaint.com for a store near you.
Hurry and shop the final days of Springfest at Lowe's. Ready to get started on your spring planting? Right now, get select Bonnie 19.3-ounce vegetables and herbs, 3 for $12. Save on indoor updates, too, with up to 40% off select bathroom faucets and vanities. Shop Lowe's today, because Lowe's knows spring. Valid through 4/26. Bonnie offer available in-store only. Actual plant size varies. Excludes Alaska and Hawaii. Selection varies by location. While supplies last.
At Ashton & Price, over the last 25 years, we've won just about every injury case you can think of. Slip and fall, falling merchandise, fell through rotted decking, we won those. Dangerous stairs, falls into holes, dog bites, won them. Injured while pedestrian or on a bicycle, auto, motorcycle, big rig, company vehicle, Uber, or Lyft accident, we've won them all. And the best news is there's no fee until you win. So no matter how you got injured,
remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton and Price.
Jiffy Lube's Country in the Park, Northern California's biggest country music festival of the year, is back May 5th and 6th at Cal Expo, starring Lady A, Chris Young, Brett Eldridge, and so many more. Plus, a Boots Boot and Line Dance Saloon, interactive lounges, and Sacramento's best food trucks. Weekend passes start at just $80. Tickets are on sale now at SactownSports.com. Country in the Park, brought to you by Cache Creek Casino Resort, Hanley's Western Wear, and Quick Hot Car Wash.
One brings Mackloff magic, while the other, we're still trying to figure that out.
Cattles and Ramie.
Sactown Sports.
KNC has Country in the Park. Want to check it out? Head to SactownSports.com right now. You can buy your tickets. KNCI's Jiffy Lube Country in the Park, May 5th and 6th at the Cal Expo. Performances by Chris Young, Lady A, and more. Tickets start at just $45. Weekend passes just $80. And again, they're available on the SactownSports.com event page. Text line 916-339-1140. Maybe HB and Herter need to stop shooting so many threes. Their field goal percentage would be good without those threes. Well, this is the age-old argument. We've discussed it all year long, Ramie. This team loves shooting threes.
Yeah.
They're
not changing their stripes now.
No, it's a philosophical decision. They want to take 43s a game if they can get to 43s a game. And the way they look at it is, our guys are good enough shooters. And if they're going through a tough stretch, it's fine, because that means a good stretch is right around the corner. I mean, we spoke to Jay Triano earlier in the season. He said there's no such thing as a bad three. I disagree, but I don't think they care what my opinion is on that.
You didn't change Jay Triano's mind?
No.
Huh.
Coach Brown hasn't texted me and asked me how I feel about their three-point philosophy. Yeah.
Probably because you hate Sacramento. Otherwise, he'd take your advice.
This is the new thing, right?
Yeah.
You're going to keep saying this like I was always angry or whatever, or negative. Now it's I hate Sacramento.
Just for today. No, I'll keep the negative thing going.
If people parachute into this show, they just think I'm a curmudgeon who hates the city I live in.
The Grinch thing, that's a running joke. This is just for today. Don't worry.
The Grinch thing is delicious because you're more Grinch than I am.
Oh, no way.
Oh, yes, you are.
I'm good vibes only.
Yeah, sure. Other than the list of 800 things you hate, you're good vibes only.
Because they're bad vibes. I hate them because they're bad vibes.
Blame the vibes. Yes. All right, couple of other things we got to get through before we bid you all adieu on this Monday. I'm sure some of you will be thrilled to no longer hear me today. The 76ers. The 76ers are in the second round. They're officially in the second round. A couple of big stories, obviously, during that series. Number one, you had the ejection of James Harden, which was a little strange given the Joel Embiid kick earlier in the same game. And now you have this Embiid injury. And the Embiid injury, is not attached to him trying to kick Nick Claxton, but it's a big story for Philly. And, a credit to them for getting through the series, sweeping Brooklyn, given some of the circumstances they obviously don't love. But Doc Rivers was meeting with the media after they had actually, I think this was before they finished up the sweep, but Doc was meeting up with the media, and he was being asked about the Harden ejection and Joel Embiid's kick. And, Here's what Doc had to say.
I'm going to say this, probably shouldn't. Didn't think Draymond should have got suspended. And I think the league is setting up a very dangerous precedent right now. And this is not me campaigning, all right? And I'm dead serious. If we're going to start punishing the retaliators and not the instigators, then we got a problem. Draymond Green stepped on the guy's chest because he was holding his foot. All right? The instigator was holding his foot. If I was at a park, and I'm going to make this point, and you stood over me, we're going to have a problem. But these guys know they can do it because they know most likely you can't do anything. To me, and all I'm saying is this, and this is what I'm concerned by, is teams targeting the better players with instigation to get them thrown out, and the better player has to be above and can't retaliate.
You mean have some discipline? You mean not react in a crazy, irrational manner? You mean like equal and opposite reaction?
Yeah, again, like if somebody's holding my foot.
Also, we're not at the park.
There are a lot of different things I could do. I could swipe at that person's hand or arm. I can try to shake my foot loose. I can go with the typical NBA reaction and flop. I was surprised that Draymond didn't flop. That probably would have been more effective. But this idea of like, I'm not going to relitigate the Domas Green thing because we spent enough time on that. But the idea of, oh, well, you know, that guy instigated. Again, what is the reaction to the instigation? I don't even know if that's a word. But, you know, what is the reaction to it, right? And like if somebody pushes you, does that give you the right to take out a gun and shoot them in the face? Like,
no.
You know,
stab him maybe. You can't shoot him.
Like if somebody's holding your foot, is the right reaction to lift up your foot and stomp that person in the sternum? I don't think so.
Stand on him briefly.
I don't think Nick Claxton walking over. And by the way, he wasn't standing over Joel Embiid. He was walking over him. There was a play. And also, I would say this, Doc irritates me. Doc, by all accounts, is a great human. Great human, has his heart in the right place. Great guy. No one will say a cross word about him. But the one thing about Doc that drives me nuts is he is like Captain Excuse. And so, you know, to sit there and say like, oh, well, and I'll give him credit. You know, he said that Joel Embiid might have deserved an ejection more than James Harden. I don't think he wanted either guy ejected. But, Doc, the reason why Nick Claxton had to walk over Joel Embiid is because Embiid flopped. If your guy didn't flop, which he does all of the time, Joel Embiid is a 7-foot Marcus Smart. He just flops, flop. If your guy didn't flop, he wouldn't have been on the floor. And Claxton would not have to walk over him. He wasn't standing over him menacingly. And again, if somebody's standing over you, if you get up and you push him, okay. Do you have to throw a rocket kick to the groin?
It's not a reasonable reaction.
Like what are we talking about here? So let's just absolve the stars for acting like fools.
And by the way, the retaliator has, like in every sport, has always been the one to get it. How often do you see in the NFL a guy will take a cheap shot and the guy who jumps up and responds to the cheap shot is the one who gets the flag, or a pitcher throws at a batter and the batter charging the pitcher is the one who gets ejected? You know, this is not something new. I don't know why Doc Rivers is acting like he's surprised that this is the way of the world.
How many times have we said it in sports? They always catch the second guy.
Exactly.
Right? They always catch the second guy. And what happens if the star was actually the first one to instigate something? Like Draymond Green. What if the star has a reputation like Joel Embiid of flopping like a fish? Are we not supposed to hold these superstars accountable or these stars accountable for the way they act? I mean, what precipitated Sabonis to grab the foot of Green is because Green's out there chopping people in the throat. Like, what are we doing here? It's outrageous. It's ridiculous.
It really is silly. And he knows. It's one of those things that he's saying, and he knows it's silly when he says it.
It's like the intent also means something.
He said it for a reason. You know what I mean?
Speaking of instigators, Dylan Brooks, big instigator. He was kicked out on Saturday night. But whose fault is it?
This is outrageous.
It's not Dylan Brooks' fault, according to him.
When you say you've been dealing with this for the past few years, what is this? What do you mean by that?
the media making me a villain, the fans making me a villain, and then that just creates a whole different persona on me. So now you think I intended to hit LeBron James in the nuts. I'm playing basketball player. So if I intended, and that's whatever is in the Flagrant 2 category of having a Flagrant 2, and you think I did that, that means you think I'm that type of person. And that's why I don't rate Mark Taylor at all.
You know what made me think he intended to hit LeBron in the junk? Because he clearly hit LeBron
LeBron in the junk. Yeah.
That seemed like the intent to me.
And nobody has ever wanted to be a villain more than Dillon Brooks has wanted to be a villain.
Yeah.
Like, and now all of a sudden, because the media has portrayed him in exactly the way he wants to be portrayed, they've put him in a tough spot. They've given him a bad reputation. That's crazy, man. Does he hear himself? Has he seen?
I don't think he cares.
Has he seen clips of Dillon Brooks and things he's said in the past, like 2 days earlier, when he said, "I poke bears"? He just said it. He said it out loud. I poke bears
with his glasses, with his
dumb glasses, his giant medallion of his initials. Like we didn't know his initial. We know your initials, dude. How much did you spend for us to know your initials are DB? Which, by the way, we might not think is your name.
See what he did there?
See what I did?
Thanks to JJ. Thanks to Simone. Great job. Fantastic work.
Done with Fox is trending.
The Liberace shades. Thanks to Ramie as well. We're back at it tomorrow. Until then, it's Cattles and Ramie, Sactown Sports.
Creamy out the room. My partner yelling too soon. Don't do it. Reconsider. Read some litter. Sure on the subject. You sure? You know we